maybe somebody in chat. We had a little technical break there to get the stream back up and operating.
Yeah.
Table's still messed up.
All right, we're just us.
You guys have to deal with us.
Dylan Valentine, what do you guys consider your home casino, and where do you play the most often?
Bay 101 and Matrix.
And Matrix, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of, my poker game grew at Matrix from the 1-2-3 game to the 10-25 no limit game, and then towards the end of last year, the bigger game kind of faded, and have since transitioned to Bay 101 playing either 5-10 or 10-20 there, like 3 or 4 days a week usually.
Yeah.
And then Adam's over there with me as well. So definitely, currently I'd probably say Bay 101, but if you asked me 6 months ago, I would have said Matrix.
Yeah.
So.
Honestly, both places have games.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah.
And then Rev Durden. LA is where they separate the men from the boys. Texas Hold'em and Omaha. How true is that?
Where is this at?
You scroll down, just keep it at the bottom. I wouldn't say there's some truth in that. You know, the biggest like public games are often going down in LA, if that's the Live at the Bike, Friday game. There are a lot of private games down in LA that I've played a couple times, but living in the Bay Area, living in San Jose, I don't have a need to really travel for that. I don't really like playing at Commerce. You're gonna be playing, cards in a casino 40 hours a week or thereabouts. Kind of want to enjoy where you're at, and I grew up in the Bay Area and like to stay there, and the games, are big enough and good enough for me able to sustain that. So yeah.
My girl Casey asking, what events are you focusing on this year? Thoughts on the Big 50? So, given I'm not a tournament professional by no means, but I do enjoy playing tournaments. So I'm gonna go down at the beginning of the World Series and play like the smaller stuff. Like my buy-in range is gonna be anywhere between $400 and like $1,500 buy-ins. I think the Big 50 is gonna be a good tournament, but there's gonna be like a million people in it, so it's gonna be hard to win. I'm willing to fire as many bullets as necessary. Mm-hmm. And I'm also gonna play the main event just because I just like playing the main event. This is such a great tournament. But like for me personally, like I wouldn't be firing on my level. I wouldn't be firing like 3Ks and 5Ks and 2Ks, just because I don't think I'm working hard enough on my tournament game to play those.
And also, are you selling much action of yourself for these?
I always keep all my action in tournaments. I'm very greedy. I think I'm gonna always win, but I don't have that expectation, because then if you do, you're gonna be mad when you bust. But I just have enough faith in my game, and like I play within what I'm comfortable losing and winning. So let's just say losing what I'm comfortable losing. So yeah.
So that's cool. I mean, a lot of people are out there, selling at markup. Playing a full schedule of events and kind of living off of the markup, or keeping a small percentage of themselves.
I've never sold at markup before. I have sold in my life. I never sell at markup, and I never buy at markup. I just don't believe in it. I don't know. I don't believe somebody could actually know their true value in a tournament. And so I just avoid it and all, and just try to keep all my own action. Maybe do some small swaps with people that I think are cool.
Which I think is important to hear. I mean, you're one of the better pros. You did have a good amount of tournament success last year. This year you've dabbled a little bit and had some, at least cashes, not quite final tables.
What's funny is last year made up for all the tournaments that I punted when I was 21 to like 24 years old, I think. And yeah, last year was hot year for me. Bunch of final tables, bunch of chops, and like. But honestly, I'm probably even now.
Yeah.
Who knows though?
So playing tournaments kind of more for fun.
I love them.
And then kind of grinding cash is the main source of making a living.
Correct.
That's good.
Tournaments are like taking a break. I get that dopamine rush
Definitely.
when I'm all in a tournament and
it's
the
really
cards
fun.
are flipped up and the dealer's taking their time to put the cards out. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I had my kind of first tournament experience this year at the Bay 101 Shooting Star, where I satellited in. I believe I actually stacked you on the stone bubble of that satellite.
How'd you do in the Shooting Stars event?
I made day 2. I bagged.
How did I do?
You cashed.
I bagged day 3, so.
You bagged day 3.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Matthew, would you go play tournaments with a $2,000 roll, or just stay in California and play cash?
I think if you don't already have a job with a $2,000 roll, that might be worth something considering, because a $2,000 roll, I think, is not big enough to play tournaments or cash without any like kind of backup money in case you like do bust a 2K roll.
Yeah, I mean, a 2K roll I definitely think would be, very much under-rolled for a 1-2 or a 1-3 game. I would stay and grind that out. That traveling to play poker when you don't have enough money put away for living expenses and otherwise, I think is just a waste. Get that bankroll up, grind at home, study a lot, and I'd worry about that before worrying about traveling. I didn't even go to any poker trips. First time I went to Las Vegas to play cards, I was already playing 5-10.
Is Anthony H a whale or a pro? Doc's move? I think I know how to answer that one for you. As Anthony would say, you never know.
You never know.
That's how Anthony would answer that.
Doc's move, hoping to maybe see you. I heard you might be coming out to Stones later. One of our good buddies, that's actually Cameron, who recently got into medical school, which is why he goes by Doc.
Correct. That's another one of our groupie friends. But yeah, poker degen. Did I miss my? The question is, should you start using Pio if you play 2-5 or 5-10? So, here's my take on Pio. Pio is one of those things that gives you a baseline of what, in theory, is gonna be let's just go with optimal to do in a spot. But I think when you're playing live cash, you should know these optimal things to do and kind of deviate from that.
But you have to have that baseline established to know how to properly deviate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that baseline, then you're kind of just guessing a lot. It's kind of like I give you under the gun opening ranges, like a chart, and depending on how your game is, you can deviate a little bit. If the game is very loose and you have fun players in the blinds, maybe you can add a couple more hands in there. But say if you had no idea what the opening ranges under the gun would be, then you might just be opening a bunch of random stuff and not really know what you're doing.
Definitely.
And then you wouldn't be able to learn because you would have no idea what you're doing.
How would you rate studying in terms of importance in poker?
Literally one of the most important things. You can always play, but when you're not studying, you're kind of just playing the same game without, progressing.
Definitely. I mean, I definitely view studying as, something I've enjoyed, learning the process and the process of studying and the process of grinding, almost as much or more so than playing. You can always go in and play. There's usually, in San Jose, at least a 2-5 game running around the clock. But, if you're not improving, then those hours are kind of for nothing.
Exactly.
So definitely increasing your edge. And, I love studying. Poker degen, MN, saying, what do you guys study? I fall asleep to Run It Once literally every night.
Run It Once. I have a very good network of friends that I will constantly text my tough hands to, or just talk theory with, or even talk exploits if I'm playing in the same casino games they are.
Yeah, if you're playing with the same players. I know we have late night phone calls.
Yeah.
Not terribly often recently, but sometimes it'll be a 2 or 3 in the morning. The game just broke. I want to run through this hand or this spot I played.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about it?
Yeah. And I also watch live streams and this for the things that people do that I don't agree with. Instead of blowing it off and saying, "Oh, that's terrible," I always say why did this guy do that?
Why did G-Man overbet this spot?
Yeah, exactly. In a spot where G-Man, probably G-Man's way better than I am at cards, but there's times where I'm like, that can't be good.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of thinking like that, where you can't grow from it, if you ask I wonder why he decided to choose this line as opposed to something I would do.
Definitely.
And I think those are good questions to ask to improve on your game, whether you get the answer or not.
Definitely. I mean, I always thought that when people said you couldn't see whole cards, if you're railing a game physically at a casino and you see a higher stakes game, you don't know what the player has, but if you see a showdown, you can start breaking down what a range you think would look like.
Oh, yeah.
Would he bet this hand on the
showdown?
Yeah, paying attention to showdowns being really, really important. Davo, looks like the broadcast computer locked up. We're just having technical difficulties right now. They are trying to reset the stream on the table, so...
Mart, I actually haven't read a poker book in a really long time, just because I'm just an addict to the internet.
Yeah, I definitely think books have kind of gone by the wayside in
Yeah.
favor to more training
But-
websites or videos.
But there is one book I can recommend you, and it's The Mentality of Poker. Is that what it's called?
I was gonna say, there's a mental game of poker.
The Mental Game of Poker. Yeah.
The one little book that I've enjoyed was Elements of Poker, Tommy Angelo. It's kind of more of a mental game book, a little bit more how to fit in the live arena. But in terms of technical books, the Matthew Jonda,
What's that one called?
Applications of No Limit.
That's also a good one.
Kind of gets into game theory.
Yeah. You know what's funny is when I read Doyle's book, what is that one called?
Super System.
Super System?
Yeah.
Like 8 years ago, I used to just think, go get a flush draw and open ender and just
blast off.
Just blast off anytime you get just an 8 outs or more.
What if you blast off with Ace King? Have you ever done that?
Man,
All right,
I have.
All right, so Ab and I were playing a game about a week and a half ago together that is on the placard a 2-3-5 game, in the same way that this Veronica and Friends is a 1-3 game. But it was playing much, much larger.
This game was special.
So maybe you want to walk our viewers through that hand you played?
Okay, yeah. So it was 2-3-5. We normally had a $10 straddle on. That was pretty much mandatory for the table.
This is a stack match game.
This is a stack match game. It starts at a 1K cap, and you can stack match from there.
Mm-hmm.
And normally for me, I just
Probably already noticed, but there's a countdown timer now. We had to restart the stream.
Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. So we should be back up in about 14 minutes.
So yeah, 1K cap. I always stack match. Just
Always trying to cover.
I just always cover just because I think I have some kind of edge on people.
Mm-hmm.
And so, this guy to my left asked the guy to my right, says, "Hey, if you do a dead 50 after the $10 straddle is posted, and Adam, you do a dead 100, I will do a dead 200."
So we're playing 2, 3, 5, 10, 50, 100, 200.
So we end up agreeing to it, and it folds to the guy on the button. The button's a fun player. He has open shoved already for like 3K into my aces once. He just open shoved. He's also playing a lot of hands. He's V-pipping a lot, really aggressive. Loves when there's a lot of dead money out there, and he just looks at his cards and he makes it 1,000. And I just assume that he's opening like probably 80 or 90% of his hands.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like 6K behind, a good regular in the $5 blind.
Yeah, the natural big blind.
The natural big blind.
Yeah.
He's got like 19K in front, makes it 3,300. I'm pretty sure he's raising like 7s plus ace jack, probably even a little looser if he thinks the guy just never has anything.
Just to isolate.
And I have ace
Yeah.
king off in the $100 blind with 18K. And I was sitting there and I'm like, man, this kind of sucks. Like I'm 18K deep at a 2-3-5 game in a spot where I think I have to go all in with ace king.
3,600
Yeah,
big blinds on paper.
If I just get stacked, like this is just gonna be the worst thing ever. But I ripped just because I just know like that's just the right play. Just the right play to do. Like the guy on the button's raising too much, and then the guy in the big blind has way worse like range than ace king. So
Yeah, your jam range looks extremely strong here, and
Yeah.
ace king fits in there nicely.
I'd probably shove like 10s plus ace king in this spot.
Yeah.
And then so I shoved 18K, and it folds around the guy who 3-bet, and he just tanks forever and claims he has Jackson folded. But not. I don't think that's an interesting hand at all.
Well, look, people talking about playing ace king, and
I know.
you like to play your flush draws aggressively, or maybe you used to more so. But I'm sure people at home, hearing that you're ripping in $18,000 cold with ace king in a 2-5 game is pretty wild.
And it's not when you play poker, you kind of have to disconnect from the money a little bit. Like it's like, yeah, it's like, oh wow, $18,000. I don't really want to put all that money in with ace king. But I'm just playing my range versus somebody else's range with what the stack depths are.
Yeah, I mean, you start the hand 90 BB effective pretty much with the $200 straddle. So you have to adjust for that.
90 BBs where I think it's like a 90 BBs where people are a little less incentivized to stack off light.
Sure.
So it's like, let's just call it like a 90 BB, whereas like you're on the stone bubble of like a tournament. Let's just call it like that.
Yeah,
So,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Was the guy with jacks covering you? He covered you by like
he had 19. He had 19K and I had 18.
Yeah, so by 1,000.
So he's in a gross spot with jacks, to be completely honest. Like he calls. I know queens is like a call, a not like it call. Kings plus is obviously like a snap love it call, and then like jacks and Jacks is like gross. I'm not really sure what to do, and then tens should be like a snap fold.
Yeah, where it's this kind of one-off spot where you have, very accomplished and thoughtful pros battling in a unique one-off spot, which is, adds a fun element to it.
But like I didn't outplay the guy or whatever. Like he was just in a spot where I put the money in first. Like credit to him, he's very good professional in San Jose. So
yeah, you both played your hands well. Nothing more to take away from it than that.
Sometimes there's gonna be spots where two people play their hands very well, but then one guy just ends up with the money.
Definitely, and that's the game.
Yeah. Do solver help with range versus range on board texture, or is that more Flopzilla? I've actually never touched Flopzilla before.
A little dinosaur.
I know what it is because I see Colin always got stupid laptop.
Has it up.
Yeah, he's always using Flopzilla.
I definitely know that. I mean, something you can do with both Flopzilla or with PO. A lot of the training videos that I'll watch where they're breaking down potential flops and who the board's favored more and what sizing you should be using. But then also just with experience. I mean, you saw. Like when Bart just tried to bluff Frank, he's seeing a board that
was
Frank's putting in no aggression.
Also, the queen hits Bart
and the
way
queen
more.
hits Bart, where you kind of go for it in that spot. And you play your strong hands like that, you play your bluffs like that, and you have a nice balanced strategy. You're putting your opponents in spots where they're hoping you're bluffing, but you can very easily be having value, and that's the idea behind having a balanced range or a good baseline strategy.
You have some bluffs and some value in all spots depending on like the size you choose. Like you're gonna have more bluffs or more value.
Definitely. John Lee, did you win or lose that pot? He won that pot. The player folded the jacks pre-flop, so it's a pretty cool spot where you take down a little over 4.5k of dead money by ripping, right? The 1,000 on the button, the 3.33 bet, the $200 triple straddle or whatever it was,
Triple dead or whatever.
Yeah.
Derek, hey, what's going on, buddy?
That's your guy?
That's my guy. Who's a SAC guy that moved to Vegas, that moved back to SAC. Nice kid. Always got the white monster, I think.
So does Rob, so does Josh. I know a lot of people
people like the white monster.
The white monster.
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
But
eight more minutes and we should be back to having our stream up. Hopefully that works.
Yeah, jacks are never good if I'm shoving 10s plus ace king. Jacks are like...
Well, this is assuming you never have bluffs.
I don't think... honestly, like... I don't think I have bluffs in this spot. I don't think... yeah, from a theoretical perspective, I'm supposed to have like some 90 big blind shove bluffs here, but I do not think I do.
Yeah, that's fair.
Also, with the fun player opening 1,000 the button, like...
You never expect him to fold to, his
anything decent.
His ace highs, his pairs.
Yeah. Fish. Knit reg poker. Yeah.
Fish hooks is the hardest hand to play and no limit hold'em. I wouldn't go quite that far, but it can get you into some troubling spots, I guess.
Is it harder than ace king, Patrick, or knit reg?
Patrick Laffey.
Oh, the smooth theorem. When he has jacks, they have kings.
They always got kings.
They always have kings. Yeah, all the trolls.
Yeah. Good to see a lot of our good friends here in the chats, watching the game, seeing what's going on.
Or trying to watch the game.
Trying to watch the game. We'll get back up momentarily.
We're trying to watch the game too. Can I get some more wine, sir?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. My boy Ben J hooking it up. Yeah, so I was saying, Poker Degen, that even though it's like, I had 90 big blinds in that spot, like it's a spot where a lot of people aren't incentivized to like think of it as like, oh, only this many big blinds, because of like how much money it is in the actual game we're playing, just a 2, 3, 5, 10. Mm-hmm. So I said it's kind of like a tournament bubble, where like once the bubble bursts, everybody goes back to playing normal. Like once this hand specifically is over, everybody's just playing with a $10 big blind again. So they're not incentivized to get out of line in a $200 one hand, like $200 dead straddle or whatever big one hand.
Yeah.
Who's Bazemore? Wow. What's the largest percentage of bankroll you've had on the line at once?
I want to say my biggest winning set, whenever I had the most money on the table, right? That would likely be the biggest percentage of your
Bankroll on the table.
Like
but
before you're playing 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2 or whatever, and you didn't have, you know, a real bankroll to speak of.
Honestly, like, you know, there are going to be times where really bigger games than what you play or what I play come around, and you know they will only run once or twice, you know, in that span of time. So it might be worth it to, like, take a shot, you know, like, I think I fired like 10% of my roll at a game once just because I knew it was only going to run one time, and, like, I thought the game was good, and, you know, yeah.
I want to say mine's about similar, about 10% probably, where I think that was the first time I played quarter 50 on my own, which was actually at a private game in LA, but I remember thinking that this would be a good spot to take a shot, and shot taking is definitely an important part of playing cards, and, you know, picking that spot wisely, but then trusting that, you know, you're just going to play your A game and live with the result, know that it was a good spot, you know, win or lose. But
I think there was a question about, like, live betting tells or live reads, or something like that. My opinion is that I think betting tells give away more than, you know, staring at a guy on the river and seeing if he's just, like, sweating or if he, like, you know, is holding his cards a certain way. I think those spots don't come up as often as, like, a betting pattern where you see it every single time they're in a hand is a betting pattern. But, you know, the live reads thing, like, you don't see showdown very often, and, like, you know, you have to really be paying attention to somebody, like, which, you know, I think I used to do this a lot. I used to just stare at people on the river. I think it's honestly quite rude. That's my opinion, though. Like, I don't do it anymore. I won't stare at you anymore. Like, I'm just not that big of a fan of it. But there could be something to be gained from live reads. But I do trust betting patterns.
what do you mean by betting patterns? Like the lines people take, or more like
the lines people take?
Yeah.
The sizings they choose to pick when they have value, when they have bluffs, you know. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's where having just a solid strategy to base your game off of, you don't need to worry about these deviations quite as much. You know, if you already know you're going to take certain lines with certain hands, there can be a one-off spot where you're like, this guy did something odd or peculiar, and you can go through your experience to kind of extrapolate what that means. But in general, I think just trying to play a solid overall strategy is the best way to approach the game. I think a lot of people are trying to find these shortcuts to improve when I used to be a big golfer, and there's a Ben Hogan quote that said the secret's in the dirt, which is really just, you know, you have to practice and you have to grind, and that's how you improve. There's not a shortcut of, you know, this bet size or this tell is 100% reliable. You really just need to study and play and study and play, and that's how you improve. You can't be looking for a Teddy KGB Oreo, you know, twist the cookie apart type strategy.
And I see Poker Degen said something along the lines of, oh, you should always stack off with jacks for 100 big blinds. And I think that when you make these kind of assumptions about what people should and shouldn't do, it takes away from your own learning. Say if, like, you see somebody, like, limp 7-3 off from under the gun, you're like, oh, this guy's, like, terrible. Like, what is he doing? But if you read into why he's deciding to limp 7-3 off, in, like, not just because he's a degenerate, but, like, look into the real reason why he limps 7-3 off, then you can start to fixate exploits on what he's doing post flop with hands that he thinks are as good as 7-3 off under the gun. And so this is how you just, like, learn to deviate from what I say is optimal and, like, make a little bit more money off people post flop.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if I see a guy limp 7-3 suited, what about 7-3 suited makes him like limp? He must like
Yeah.
suits, which means like he must like flush draws.
Yeah.
Which means he's more likely to never fold his flush draws when he has them, which means you can get more. You know, it's just like, but instead of saying, oh, he limps 7-3, that's so bad. Like
It's how are you going to use that information to your
exactly.
advantage?
There's always something you gain from like whether you say it's bad play or good play or plays that you're not really understanding.
Yeah.
Asking yourself questions about them.
John Lee, what casino was that game in? I assume that's in reference to your big ace-king hand. That was at Matrix in San Jose. No, your ace-king hand where you ripped.
Oh, that was a Matrix.
That was a Matrix. All right, and it looks like we now thankfully have the stream back up and running.
All right.
What do we have going on?
What a waste of Oreos. Veronica's getting quite aggressive today.
So Veronica
What?
straddled,
I love it.
right? So it looked like it probably straddled to 10. Nurse Sean opens up, king queen off. Veronica 3-bets a straddle. I like this a lot.
Somebody gave her a pep talk.
We maybe talked a little bit on the drive up here. Interesting board here. Jack, 9, flush draw. This is a really dynamic board. And having the board pair versus a button range that opens and calls a 3-bet. You know, in Veronica's shoes, you're going to be asking, you know, what does my range look like? What does Nurse John's range look like? And how do I want to... And here she's going with a little over...
Looks like 60%.
Yeah, about 60% pot bet size.
You know what's funny is this actual bet puts Nurse John in a tough spot.
If these graphics are correct, Veronica only has 242 behind.
Oh, lit.
So it's pretty interesting considering you know, the 3-bet size, the flop size, given her stack. This is, you know, Nurse John has a lot of equity. You know, 2 overcards, inside straight draw,
Drawn to the inside straight.
and you know, he has to fold that equity away. Ghost of M said, pause the stream. More poker stories, please. Well, we have countless.
Yeah. Yeah, if you ever want to, like, just come talk to me. Don't be shy. Like, I don't bite. Like, I'll, you know, I'll share as much as I can. Like,
Yeah, Adam and I, you know, we're frequenting the Bay Area casinos. Adam comes up to Sacramento some as well. If you guys ever see us, please say what's up. We'll be in Vegas this summer as well if you see us out there.
yeah.
John Lee in the YouTube chat, I've never seen those types of stacks in a Las Vegas 2-5 game. Well,
I think because the Vegas games are capped.
they're all capped.
Yeah,
right?
I think the Matrix game and the Matrix
No,
game.
well, this game. This
This game.
Or-
Yeah,
or
this game is
maybe both,
all
but-
the stack matches games. Like when you get the right lineup, people just go nuts on the buy-ins.
and also when that's the stack match 2-5 game or the deep stack game is the biggest game in the room, you're going to be attracting players that would likely want to be playing bigger, but bigger games aren't running.
So there's been some blood on this game because I see a lot more chips than there was before. Like I see, yeah. So
Yeah.
we missed some good hands, unfortunately. This sucks. We don't know what's going on either.
But deeper stacks here.
I don't think there was a straddle.
There's likely it's an
Oh,
open
there- yeah,
it's an
there
open to
is.
60, so
You never know.
you never know. I mean, but yeah, most likely probably like a, you know, a $10 or $20 straddle. Brian opens pocket eights.
This is
Frank-
one of those boards where Frank's gonna make you earn it by betting.
Yes.
I thought there was gonna be some craziness on this board, to be completely honest.
To white chocolate, she 3-bet pre. She can easily have queens plus, ace king of hearts, tens. Often in this situation where it's a button open and a straddle 3-bet, especially in smaller stakes games, those ranges that the straddle is 3-betting is quite narrow, given that you know, the straddle's getting a good price just to call and take a flop. So yeah, she's definitely going to be having these premiums. She'll clearly be 3-betting queens plus an ace king. You know, definitely probably ought to be 3-betting a little bit wider than that, but you know, what does it realistically look like? And then on a board like Jack 9, you know, you can definitely bet that board with range for a small size. Adam and I were talking about earlier, and so you don't need to put out much for that. You know, she bet 250, but you know, say she had pocket aces or something of that nature, the money is going to be able to get all in because stacks are so shallow, where you can bet, you know, a smaller size. Definitely with her exact hand, she wanted to get a fold. with ace queen.
Look at Veronica
But-
taking this to streets. Like
It's a lot of 3-bets.
she's making a very correct assumption that all these late position opens from like the field on her right are gonna be like a lot looser.
Yeah, a lot looser and opening wide, and definitely with her image in a lot of ways. I like the 3-bet from a technical perspective, but I also like it utilizing her image and the game flow of the game. Where Bart, now having seen that Veronica's been quite active, has a pretty cool hand here in the straddle of king queen suited, where he straddles
But
for
again,
20.
like you see somebody active, but you really don't know if they're getting cards or not. You have no idea.
Of course.
Like
It's easy for us at home with the whole cards up
Yeah,
to
to
say,
know.
well, you should have done this, you should have done that.
yeah, she could have easily just had aces and kings like 4 times, or
Of
maybe
course.
just like hit top pair a bunch of times, or like that's the great part about poker. It's just so hard to know. Like nobody ever knows.
And
It's-
here she takes it down, and
it's all people using their assumptions, and like whoever is a little bit closer in their assumptions about the other.
yeah. Whenever you're able to fold out people's equity, especially pre-flop in that spot, it's quite nice because you win 100% of the pot instead of having to play for some percentage of your pot share post-flop. So,
Pot share.
yeah. All right, so it looks like we have a $10 straddle this hand.
Apostle.
King, queen off, opens to 30, very standard.
A lot of blue chips coming out.
Frank with a suited ace.
I want to see somebody make a wheel.
Gonna call, make the wheel.
Me and Ben just have this history where when Ben was running bad, he kept getting stacked by the wheel. Like people would always play
Flop a
like
set of aces in a 3-bet
yeah,
pot, and the
people
guy
would
would have a wheel
always
somehow.
have wheel cards that didn't have an ace in it, and they would always just hit a wheel on them when he hit a set of aces.
So here, ace, 8, rainbow, 3 ways, pot's just under 100. Brian checks, as I would expect him to do with
I wonder if Postle's gonna choose to c bet on this board.
all of his holdings. And I really like Frank's
Frank's
check back here.
Yeah,
You definitely have a bluff catcher.
hard to get value from worse.
Hard to get value from worse.
Play turns.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be, a 1, maybe 2 street value hand, but playing, a slightly balanced range here where you're checking.
And you get to win money from bluffs like
Yeah, you're-
king queen off on the turn.
You allow people to bluff.
Yeah.
And that's a really important part of poker where, maybe you want to take down a pot, but when people got nothing, you got to give them the chance to bluff with their nothing.
Knit Red got the got the joke I was talking about.
Buddy Patrick.
What happened this hand? Something happened? Oh, river's an 8, and then Postle bet again, and I think oh no, I think
Frank bet
Postle check folded.
Yeah.
V-pip.
VPIP, we see, a nice range here of Frank with 65% down to Jamie at 16.
Low sample size though. I mean, I don't know if they're counting the hands that were off stream. I'm pretty sure they're not,
Yeah.
but
Definitely some good action so far. Like definitely some of the lines I'm seeing from the players, especially Veronica getting in there with some 3-bets that not everybody, I think, at this stake or in this game would be doing, and that's yielding her some more chips than maybe she would have otherwise.
You holding out on me tonight? What's going on, B?
It's having a little bit of water, I think, for right now.
I'll have some with you.
Yeah. Another $10 straddle here from.
It's funny. I actually talked to Frank earlier about Anthony going to EDC.
Yeah.
And Frank's like, "Yeah, I've been there about 5 or 6 times." I'm like, "Whoa,
Frank going to
homie?"
EDC.
And I had like this 20-minute talk with Frank about EDC.
No kidding.
Because I've been to EDC twice, and I love EDM music. It gets me going in the gym.
Definitely.
Like, it's just been such a big part of my life. And so, I try to make it to as many music festivals as I can around the local area, and then I used to love going to EDC in Vegas, like when the World Series was out there.
Now it's a little bit earlier.
Now
in
it's
the
too
year.
early, so it's like, eh.
Yeah, I went 2 summers ago. I went to EDC one time and had a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
had the invite to go this weekend, but already had a commitment to do this commentary. But that's why Anthony H is not in the game, regular of Veronica and Friends. But looks like Nurse John's got a little bit of some fans
Wait,
going here.
it looks like we got one of these.
Oh, Bomb-Potosaurus.
Did it come up?
Sure. Try the small one. Oh yeah, there we go.
The
Bomb pot.
Bomb-Potosaurus.
So hopefully they
What
are they all getting in there? It's a new dealer, no?
Yeah, it's a new.
Maybe.
Oh, is it
Maybe.
not? Yeah, it's a
Oh
new
yes.
dealer.
Oh,
Oh, nope.
maybe. What's going on?
You never know what's going on.
Never know. You never know.
Maybe we.
All
messed
right,
them
all
up.
right. So it is a bomb pot. We're getting confirmation for 30. So usually here they do what they call progressive bomb pots.
Oh, they do progressives here. I think it goes up $5 every
Dealer. So it started at 20 when we were off air. They probably did a $25 bomb pot. Now we're doing a $30 Bomb-Potosaurus.
Yeah, stop playing with that.
Yeah,
too,
it's
man.
fun, man.
I know.
It's fun.
I didn't know we get the control.
All the
down.
graphics. We're in charge, man.
What's the Bomb Pot song?
I have no idea what the bomb pot song is.
Can you post it on the chat?
Wow, and a really dynamic flop coming down.
Oh my God, Nurse John has rockets. This is the worst board ever for rockets. Well, you got a lot of people trying to squeeze a straight right now when they look at the cards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, everybody loves a bomb pot.
What do we have going on? Jamie with an open ender. Frank with the bottom having an open ender.
Blocking both straights. Same thing with Frank.
Yeah.
Nobody has anything.
Wow. So Alicia leads here with middle pair.
Frank at the straight.
Front door flush draw comes in. Nobody has a heart in their hand. Where for Nurse John, once this hand goes multi-way on this turn card, he has to hate it. You know, I mean, flush draws, 2 pairs, straights, a lot of things get there.
A lot of things, huh?
A lot. You know, Alicia's lead range on a board like this, I would think should generally be very strong, given that it's a bomb pot, you know, not expecting a lot of folds from high equity hands.
He must have showed his aces.
Rockets are no good in the bomb
Yeah.
pot.
If Alicia's like, oh my God.
Cracked.
So bad. It's so unlucky that you just get a board like that with aces. Yeah, I don't think there's a worse board than that for aces, except like 8, 9, 10 all hearts.
Yeah, I mean, they're all very similar.
Yeah. Or like deuce 3, 5. That's when it's got the wheel.
The
Or
wheel.
No, ace 3, 5.
Ace 3, 5.
That's when it's got the wheel.
Ace deuce 4,
You never know.
5-3 suited. Oh, it looks like we got the bird in the YouTube chat.
We got a Spencer Wind.
Buddy of ours out in New Jersey.
It's probably Spencer's first time ever on like YouTube or Twitter or whatever.
Twitch.
Yeah. Man, he comes out of retirement just to like sweat me on a commentary.
Yeah. Spencer's also one of our good buddies.
Here you go, Spence. It's for you.
Shout out to the bird.
All right, we got some suited stuff.
All right, so probably a $10 straddle from maybe Nurse John.
Here we go.
and
Bart mixing it up. Yeah.
suited
In the
stuff
small blind.
getting in there.
Brian trying to hit the wheel.
Oh, Jamie had the straddle.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm liking where this pot's going so far.
definitely. King 4 deuce. 2
What do we have here?
spades.
We got top 2.
Yeah, we got top 2 for Frank,
Hopefully this checks through so like something can come on the turn.
which is really disguised. I would expect Frank to bet flop here a good amount. Hopefully not for too much, but
What happened? Somebody folded. Somebody must. Oh, I think
Frank bet 95.
I don't think anybody has anything.
Nobody really has much. Brian has bottom pair. Oh no, Brian called. Brian called with his ace deuce.
Is that Alicia in the chat? Is she in the chat? Is that Alicia?
Yeah, that is definitely Alicia.
Oh my god. Oh, shout out to Alicia. She's on the game. They keep having stuff against you, Alicia.
CJ saying the bird heard the sound of aces getting cracked and had to log in to savor the pain. Spencer's always sending us his PLO bad beats and such. So hearing aces getting cracked is a frequent situation. Frank here with the best of it. So that's 2 pair. That front door flush draw missed. Shouldn't be very afraid of. There aren't many improves on this run out.
If you call 2 straights with ace deuce, you must think the guy has like a draw. And yeah, and Brian pays it off. He thinks the guy is on spades, like.
And gets shown the bad news. He shows him the deuce. Maybe the ace. I don't know.
See, and like, this is one of those spots where like a lot of people are like, oh my god, he's the worst. He called with ace deuce. But like, the best part about poker is understanding about like what people are thinking about the hand. Like, why did Brian call the flop? Why did he call a turn? What did he think he have?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, instead of saying like, you know, oh, this is shit, this is a crappy call. Like, you know, like, I love thinking about what Frank's doing, why, like how many times Brian has actually played with Frank to think he's got spades, because like they probably have played tons with each other.
Definitely.
They probably have tons of history with each other.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, you know, it's just a cool dynamic to look at when you're watching these games, you know, especially from the outside. Like, I have no idea like what history anybody has with each other. All I've seen is like Frank is very stab heavy. He's very aggressive, and I think at some point Frank's gonna get paid off when he has stuff.
Certainly.
I think that's just like, you know, standard. When Frank gets hands, he's
and we see Brian reloading here as well, so get some more chips on the table.
He said, "I'm coming for you."
Frank
limped in the dark. Oh no, he must have just like not put his cards in the reader.
Yeah. Bart ISOing ace-8 off in the cutoff.
A lot of people would also say this is bad, but I actually would ISO ace-8 off in this spot.
Just try to get the pot heads up.
Against loose limpers.
Yeah.
But you know what though? Like against people that are very aggro post flop, maybe ace-8 off doesn't fit in there.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when you have Postle calling 7-6 off from the straddle, facing a limp and
you're gonna need
larger isolation.
Hit some stuff. Okay.
Queen Jack Deuce.
A little bit of stuff happening here.
Bart has the Ace of Hearts, which is a bit of an interesting card on this board.
Yeah. 10 of Hearts on the turn.
Yeah.
Yes, Patrick, you can check and raise.
It's allowed.
It is allowed. How do you count?
Oh, wow. Frank turns 2 pair.
Bart chose a, what is it, half pot sizing on the flop?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. Third pot, half pot, 2/3.
What do you think about flop bet sizings? Heads up versus multi-way.
I think you should. I think it's very opponent dependent.
Yeah, that's fair.
Against like opponents that I view as like, you know, like very loose, I'd probably use a way larger sizing because I'm probably not like bluffing as much.
Sure.
But I think in multi-way pots in general, you should use small sizes.
That's fair.
Yeah. Because betting ranges are narrow.
Yeah. And then Frank went ahead and led the river there with the full house, and Bart folded his air ball.
What is SSOV? I don't know what that is.
Maybe it's sandbagging. I'm not sure.
Oh, it could be something to do with sandbagging.
Dip Dia and Twitch.
I don't know. Maybe this guy will get himself kicked out of the chat.
Never know.
Writing what it means.
You really never know.
He's on Twitch and he's on YouTube. Look at this guy double trolling. When can you bet pot over bet on flop?
I think it's just like, when can you overbet?
Okay. I was like,
Or
whoa.
On the flops. I don't really have many flop overbets.
Dice pops.
It's a pretty rare instance. I know there
Dang.
some videos I've watched where.
How big was the straddle?
Well, Frank's to her right, so Frank probably put out.
It's probably the V.
Another one of these V straddles to a good amount.
I wonder
probably
well,
$50
Postel's
or
staring at her
something.
like she's crazy, so he must
Postel has a pair.
No,
Doesn't
but
like
she
the
must
full
have
pairs.
used a big sizing if Postel's staring. That's
Well, she used a big sizing, but it's probably a large straddle. So
yeah. Well, I think larger than what he thinks it's let's say Aaron
Quote, supposed-
what's supposed to be. So I'm gonna say she at least made it 4x. Yeah, see, a $40 straddle, she made it 175.
yeah. And then Frank here again.
Oh, he made it a
40
$45 straddle.
Frank has the same hand he just did, Jack 9 of spades.
Yeah. I like these names, Dice Pops, Tillmanjo.
Just usernames, man.
I know.
The Twitch streets.
I really appreciate them.
All right, we're gonna take a three-way flop here.
She
Queen,
gets a good
queen,
flop.
Queen, queen, 7, rainbow.
It's interesting to see what Veronica's gonna do on this flop. Couple different ways you can go.
She has
Don't
like
fold though.
1.5x pot behind, if the graphics are correct.
Never know.
Never know, but Postel checks. Expect Frank to check here.
Let him take a sip first. and
Let
then
him
check.
have a sip and
let
think what
him
he's
have
gonna
a
do.
sip first and then check. That's what's going on.
Oh, and she checks.
I actually like her check a lot. There's not a lot of protection needed on this flop. Hard to get called by. You really don't want to just like bet and then like not really know what to do on the turn.
I think that's fair.
She is playing this hand fantastic.
I really like how she's playing this hand.
Look
Definitely
at
too.
Postel.
Frank's,
check raise.
Frank,
The worst hand to do check raise.
Frank has been consistently, leading his pairs on the turn when the pre-flop raiser checks back flop. So not surprised to see a lead there, but
Veronica's gin card would be a queen. Oh, that's
my
her
God.
gin card. She is
Veronica
supposed to make all the money on this
it's
card.
very, very likely to
Yeah.
get the full double up. Cuts down on Frank's queen X combos that she was behind.
I think against almost any
And he
amount,
bets-
you should raise all in.
Yeah, she should be jamming here for
Because
sure.
he has a lot of 9x, and she doesn't. I think her range looks like not very strong when she doesn't bet the flop.
She just called.
calls.
Just called.
She takes the conservative route. So that means she thinks that Frank either has a queen or he just doesn't have it, or
Has a hand that won't call a raise as well.
correct.
When you can't
So,
get called by worse.
then you shouldn't raise.
Wait,
No. She's kings.
why was he awarded the pot?
What happened?
Why was Frank awarded the pot?
She's kings. She has a boat.
She had queens full of kings.
What happened?
That has to be.
Oh my god. You know what? She must have had ace king of clubs. Because I saw king of clubs. They must have just got the graphics
The
wrong.
graphics must have been off, or Frank did have the queen.
Oh, he could have also had the queen. Cause
Oh, he had queen 9. Oh, so we had quads.
He had the nuts.
All right, so our
my
text behind us are
God.
telling us that he actually did have
He
quads.
had queen 9.
So the graphics were wrong. Frank had queen 9 for quads. So that's a hell of a beat for Veronica, where somehow she avoids getting stacked.
That's really unlucky. That was the worst river ever for Veronica. And I was saying her money card's the queen.
I mean,
Sorry, V.
it's a bad beat. It's a bad run out.
She still got that Gucci handbag on, which is cool. So yeah, he had queen 9, which is
Yeah.
she-
And
vote
Veronica
on the
just
turn.
texted me. He had queen 8. He has quads.
Queen 8.
So I guess they're seeing
Oh.
the stream at the table, and we're getting
Okay.
some info texted
That's
to us back here in
that's
the booth.
dirty. Like that's just like
It's a spot where you get dealt kings with a $40-$45 straddle.
queen 7 9.
You just
board or
expect the
whatever.
double
Yeah,
up
you
so
just-
often.
Yeah. Man,
Wow, the
what
nuts.
a board, the nuts.
And Frank with 2 pair.
And Frank leads out. Okay.
Wow. Jamie, I expect to fold. There's Sean. I think call and raise are both fine.
There's no cooler button.
I'm not sure. I haven't played with these graphics much, but
I wonder if slow playing against Frank is correct. I'm actually unsure. Like Nurse John chooses to slow play, which means he thinks like Frank just blasts off.
yeah.
It's interesting to see what he's gonna do on the turn and see if he raises.
Looks like he's reaching for raising chips here.
So I wonder if he's raising because he thinks there's he's scared that there's a
Oh, and they
drop
get
there.
it
Oh,
in.
Frank just snap goes all
They
in,
rips it.
and he just snap calls.
The nut. Always good to have the nuts and get
That's my favorite hand in Hold'em. The nuts.
the nuts. Get ripped on. Frank with 4 outs. Try to fill up.
Nah, no new tech guy. Our tech guy's cool. I like him. Nice guy. Well, the nuts will win.
Nuts
Unless they ran
hold.
3 times, which you can do.
They
in this
can do
game.
it here. Yeah.
No. I see you in there, Rob, with the white monster still. I can't see the dub score. Can somebody post in the chat? I
Golden
actually
State
can't
is
see
up
it.
88-82 with 8.5 minutes left in the fourth
Yeah.
quarter. Looks like Quentin Cook just had a nice bucket. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Just pop out. Yeah, of course. Adam's gonna take a quick break here. Robbo in the Twitch chat. Miss seeing you in the casino, big guy. But priorities change, job change. They're just cutting out all these chips, getting Nurse John paid off. This Veronica and Friends game is nearly never boring. Lots of action, lots of loose play, good amounts of aggression, lots of chips. Hopefully giving you guys a nice show wherever you are at home watching. M all in. So Ben, you play with Andrew a lot. Not sure which Andrew you're referencing. Know several Andrews in the poker community. If you could specify that a little bit, that might help. But one of my very good friends who doesn't really play much anymore is named Andrew, and then there's been another guy named Andrews from the East Coast, Moreno. Yes, I play with Andrew Moreno a good amount, good buddy. Johnny Vibes, younger brother. Andrew Amo has been in San Jose for coming up on a year. We play together at Bay 101 probably 3 to 4 days a week. But I've known Andrew for probably about 3 years or thereabout. But yeah, play with Andrew Moreno a good amount. Definitely a very skilled player.
We got Amo in the chat?
No, we have a friend of Amo saying, "Do you play with Andrew a lot?"
Which Andrew?
Oh,
Moreno. Yeah. Great guy.
Fort Wayne, Indiana represent. We got a Twitch. Pete Dousman also knows Amo. Yeah, that's a good buddy of ours.
Amo, Christy, they're great people.
Yeah. Yeah, Johnny Vibes, Timo. We know all these people, play with them.
Yep.
An okay amount. How's the action at Grayton? I haven't been to Grayton in about 3 years.
They run like a 1025 on Fridays that has like 7 people in it. I've actually heard good things about it. It's just such a far drive for me. 1-3 and 2-5. I know they're stack match games, but I haven't ventured out there since the casino opened. So
yeah, last time I played there was actually to play PLO before they had a PLO game in San Jose. But yeah, Jim, who goes by Top Set, I played with him last summer in Vegas a good amount, and I know that he's let me know that
he's
that
a
game
nice
goes.
guy.
Really
I
good
like
guy.
I like that guy a lot.
He's the host of the game up in Grayton, which I believe runs Fridays. But it's a couple hour drive for me, and I have a lot of good options for me for poker in San Jose. Brian here turns 2 pair. And Frank Rivers
I
top
actually
pair.
wonder what's going to happen on this river. I think Brian's
9x
going
for a straight.
to try to check call. A bet would be very good. Yes.
I think bet folding this spot's also an option, and he gets snapped.
Yeah, big stiff. Yeah, I played at Jackson from 2008 till about 2011. My youthful days.
Well, it's an 18 and over casino at the time, right? So
It
that
was.
was one of the
I'm
first
not gonna-
places you'd be allowed to play cards. San Jose, it's all 21 plus.
Yep. I know, and the funny part about this stream too is like, yep, I've had so many people just come up to me and just make funny faces at me, like looking out, just because I just know all these guys and they're all sweating me, like doing commentaries. This is.
Well, you've been a regular at Sones. You play the bigger games on stream sometimes. Play some tournaments here. Play other cash games off stream here.
Yeah.
So you're known in the room a little bit as kind of a bigger game player who's.
Yeah, I moved here. I moved back to Sacramento last year because I wanted to coach tennis at a junior college up here, and so I was playing in Sacramento, like 5 or 6 days a week, staying with my parents while I was coaching tennis here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now I'm back in San Jose, so I still visit here frequently just because my parents live here, and I have a lot of things going on here.
A6 deuce 2 clubs, check.
He got the kitchen.
Frank does have the kitchen.
The kitchen
10-3.
Yeah, the 10-3. Some high stakes pros I talked to in Vegas, they play like a hold'em game, home game where the nuts is 10-3. If you have 10-3, you just have the nuts.
You beat a royal flush.
You just beat a royal. You can't lose with 10-3 if you have it pre-flop. And so these sickos just play with the kitchen, and like
you play pocket tens.
People start
threes,
bluffing with pocket tens and pocket threes, and just because those have blockers
to the kitchen.
But if you don't have the kitchen, like it's just so ballsy to put it in money. Veronica lobbying.
Not winning though.
No,
After that brutal beat.
Well, Frank, you would have got all my money if I had kings.
Definitely.
I would have been all in on the river against
All in on
you.
the river and try to double up through some other smaller full house.
Yep.
Nitreg, Ben, do you think Veronica has an edge at 08? So Veronica is a big fan of playing Omaha 8 or better. Limit.
What stakes?
They have an 8-16 game every day in San Jose at Bay 101, and then they have a 20-40 game twice a week, I believe. I haven't played 08. I have like under 5 hours of lifetime 08. But it's one of Veronica's preferred games. She actually will be driving out to Las Vegas together in about 2 weeks, and she's coming out for the weekend to play the $1,500 08 event. So I actually had her.
Dan M.
Dan M. They seriously couldn't find better commentators than you two. Well,
wow.
We still play poker.
Yeah.
So, not retired like some people. Dan was a San Jose regular who, played the big games with us for a few years, and he's since kind of moved on to a side project. But
he's a yoga guy. I'm big on yoga. Do it 6 days a week, and he's right there with me in the streets. So
he goes to the same studio as you?
He does not go in the
okay.
same studio. Jay Smooth, that's my brother. My brother. Oh man,
we got Josh in here. Everybody's coming
in
out
hot. Tahoe 510. That's his whole screen name. Oh man, you guys are just making my day.
And then Chris Poker. There's a chance that's
Chris.
That's Chris Ma,
the lawyer, right?
Or no, it could be Crew. It could be either way.
Ah, man, you guys are just...
Everybody's coming out to watch Veronica and Friends. That's great.
Here I am trying to stay low-key and, just hang out with Ben and talk about the poker. And
Everybody follows
all these
Veronica
guys
and Friends.
sliding in.
That's what's up.
No, Josh, we do not want somebody to come play 7% of hands and then triple off his stack bluffing. We do not want that, Josh.
Finds the open and then bet with ace.
We don't want somebody to
10.
bluff with aces.
Trying to bluff people off of aces.
Fun part about my brother, when we used to travel together to play poker around SAC, and he would play like so nitty, so tight, but when he's the type that if he felt like his aces got cracked in a hand, he would try to bluff with them because he just knew he was no good. But yeah, good memories. My brother's doing better things, working at Google. He's a software engineer, doing good stuff. Still helps me, life advice wise.
That's what big brothers are for.
bought a house together in San Jose, so he's doing good. He's helping me out. Couldn't be more thankful for him.
Yeah. All right. So here we have an open to 35 from Postle.
See what
9-7 off, under the gun 1.
Let's see what Alicia decides to do with the ace
It
10
looks
of
like
clubs.
Alicia just called.
Understandable.
Brian comes in with deuces. 3 ways.
Action flop. CP3 bet.
King 10 rainbow. Alicia flopping the best of it.
Brian gives it the smile before he decides to check because he didn't flop his head.
So Alicia takes a stab here.
Stupid. Oops.
My buddy Phil.
Oh, he's in the chat.
He's in the YouTube chat.
Who is that? Is that Nick Papadamac and
No.
Lacus?
No, at the bottom here. My buddy Phil is a high stakes semi-pro, I guess, from Las Vegas.
Is that the dude that was in the chat with us on the?
No.
You know who I'm talking
That was.
about? We were in that chat together. It was just me, you, and him, in the Telegram.
It may have been him.
And then I just didn't respond to it. And then I just.
I'm not. I don't remember.
I
But
remember that.
But yeah, my buddy Phil's in one of my other group chats. Very. We also think about poker similarly. Good to see you checking in here.
Who's Andrew Posto? Is that Mike Postle? A Postle.
Yeah. It's Mike.
Oh.
Yeah. Postle always.
You be getting in the chat?
No. He's not in the chat.
Josh, I think you put an H when it's supposed to just be suited. You put shooted.
Shoot. Action. 7-6-5 rainbow. Frank and Postle got a couple of pairs.
Two's
Brian
never
has an
flopped
under
his
pair. Doesn't have cards in front of him, so he mucked.
Give a little shout out to Andrew Postle, Mike Postle's brother.
Oh,
Unless
nice.
he's trolling me. That'd be a sick level. You never know. Ooh, Alicia's stabbing with this ace-jack offsuit. Doesn't get through the 2 sticky ones. 6 is going to do it.
Yeah, you see with this graphic here, Frank is the most aggressive player at the table so far. You know, definitely seeing a lot of flops, leading a lot of turns when people check.
Oh, aggression frequency. There's a new stat that got put up.
Yeah.
This is C-bet, right?
I'm not sure.
Or is it just like flop bet?
I have
frequency, or just bet in general.
I have no idea.
Oops.
All good.
I think. Yeah. I'm waiting for somebody to play 7 deuce off.
You need Anthony H on
Maybe
the game to do that.
that'll wake him up.
So Bart here, ace 10 suited in the hijack. The $25 straddle out there opens up to 75. Not quite sure what Frank has, but he is in there. Queen 6-4 rainbow.
This is a flop where Bart should be c-betting. I think pretty often. Backdoors, good board for him. Dry board. Decides to play a check back. More than understandable. When somebody's not folding very many flops. I think Bart's gonna win this one.
Bart's gonna check back and
unless
and
he
I
loses
think
to
win
a
very high
7.
frequency.
Yeah, unless he
No,
loses
Frank
to a
had
7.
10-9 off. Just
Yeah, I don't think he actually loses to a 7 that often because I think 7s with straight draws would obviously would bet the turn.
yeah,
So just like cock at 7.
yeah. Been getting updates at the Warriors.
Yeah.
We're down by 13 at the half, and
go,
then had a
Dubs.
third quarter run.
Even though I do like the Kings.
Up
and
11
I
with 4
always
minutes
want the
left.
Kings to make the playoffs. And the Bucks are not going to beat the Warriors. He must be from Milwaukee.
Unlikely. But Greek Freak's playing very well.
We need KD back in there, in the mix.
Hopefully should have him for the finals.
Yeah. Let's just sweep the Blazers first.
Yes, sir. Bart opening up the Queen 5 suited. Possible as jacks in the small.
Looks like a 3-bet coming.
And a 3-bet it is.
And then a snap call from Frank.
Well, Frank was going to snap call the 50, not realizing that Postle 3-balled. Oh, wow. Postle with a really small sizing here, if that's correct. And Bart will now take a flop, some suited cards in position.
Maybe Pasta wants to do a lot of 3-betting.
And flops
Oh.
a hell of a hand. Play Queen 5 suited in a 3-bet pot, and you flop top and bottom.
Jamin Burton in the action. I've watched a couple of your vlogs. I stay anonymous, but I do keep up with some of the vlogs that get put out. And I think a lot of them are very well done. Can you bring me a... Yes, please.
Thanks, Britt.
Ah, you're the best, Britt.
Bart
Bets.
just calling here.
What do you think about his call on the flop?
I like a lot of raises. You know, there are a lot of turn cards. On a really dynamic board like this, you should have value raises. If you think Postle's only 3-betting, you know, kind of stronger hands. You know, if a heart peels off, the action might get shut down a little bit.
What if you think Postle c-bets too much on this board?
And then calls are fine as well. You know, you want to have strong hands in your flat range, but
Or how do you... Or this could be another situation where Bart thinks that... Thank you. Yeah.
thank you, Britt.
Thank you, Britt. This might be a spot where Postle... Or Bart thinks that Postle reads into Bart raising is, like, very strong. And it's just trying to be a little more deceptive with one of these, like, very good parts of his range.
Yeah, I mean, and stacks are to a point where, you know, they're going to be able to get the money in.
I don't know.
Or now here, you know, once Postle checks turn.
Yeah, see, and like now this is a spot where Bart called the flop, so he could easily have flush draws, he can easily have straight draws, he could easily have these non-nutted hands, and now Postle's put to a decision where he's not sure when some draws are still available. You know, it's hard to know if he's good or if he's getting bluff, like, you know.
And somehow.
Oh, and
lets
he
it go.
called. He
no.
called
He
the
let
turn.
he looks like he let it go on the turn, but then they tip the dealer $5 to rabbit or river card.
Explain that to me. What is this? What is this tip the dealer to
So people just want to kind of see what the board would have run out like.
Uh-huh.
So you know they'll tip the dealer and the dealer will run the board out, but he mucked the turn.
Okay, so I think that's actually good. Like, you know, if you want to rabbit cards, which I think is like not that great for the game.
Slows
I think
down the game. It's
yeah,
you know,
I think it's good that they tip the dealer. You have to tip
Yeah.
the dealer to do it. I think that's the best
they do
case
that
scenario.
on Poker After Dark as
Because
well.
nobody wants to like put more money down the drop. It'd be better if it goes towards the
Yeah,
dealer.
you always want to try to tip the dealers.
Yeah.
All right, I will be right back.
You want a bomb hoodie, Jay? I can get you one. Looks like a lot of limping right now. Doesn't look like Frank's gonna let that happen. As he's the only one with a really good hand. Veronica makes a really disciplined fold with ace-4 spades. I think it's good. It's clearly a huge sizing. Too much of her stack to call. this is what I'm saying. Like Frank gets a little bit more action when he picks up good stuff like ace queen off, because a lot of people just think he gets way out of line, which you know he does in some spots. Like he bets more often than most. Like you can tell by aggression frequency or whatever. So this is a spot where Frank is just gonna make a lot of money. He's just gonna get as many bets as he wants to put in. He's gonna get called multiple streets, at least 2 streets, unless board runs out, you know, crap for him. But yeah, the beauty of being aggressive, you get paid off in these kinds of. Oh my God! Well, you never know.
What's going on?
Well, it just went a bunch of limps to Frank, and Frank like raises like 10x on a $15 shot from the small blind. Couple callers, and then he bets the flop.
Postle turns.
Postle just naturally gets
7 outs.
Yeah, Postle just naturally gets there.
I mean, he did have a wheel draw on the flop. Oh, and Frank rips, gets it in.
Oh, he rips? No, he calls. He calls.
Like, I have an all-in graphic.
He did not. Trust me, there's not an all-in right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see what sizing Postle chooses on the river. It looks like Postle was lining up for like 700. That's what it was looking like when he put it out.
He gets called.
And he got snap called. Yeah. I mean,
Was that a 3-bet pot?
no, that was it went 3 limps for 15, and then he makes it.
Oh, he made it big. Yeah,
116 from the small blind, bet like 175, check call 325, and then check call looks like 600 or 700 on the river. Postle just doing Postle things.
Yes, sir. Warriors up 9 with 30 seconds left.
That's funny. Josh wants a Bompotosaurus
Hoodie.
The link is just posted. Don't worry, Jay. I'll get you one.
Figure that out. Only 3 left though.
Only 3 left.
Of the limited edition Stones Live item.
Can you lock me up one of those? Give me a. Let's go small. Yeah, my older brother's a small guy. I always want to say the opposite of me, because I used to be 225 pounds, and so you know, he was always the 135 pound guy that was in good shape. So, but now I think we're at a very similar weight. So
Yeah, you've come down a lot. You've been working on your health and fitness a ton, nutrition.
Yeah.
Eating good, working out a lot.
So, yeah,
that's good.
I'll just say we're both a small now.
Oh, and then Justin, the tournament director here at Stones, saying they only have an XL left in the Bomb Pot hoodie.
No. Well.
And then Raven in the YouTube chat, does the person doing the graphics guess the amounts being bet? I think it's between watching the stream and also the dealer is mic'd up and will tell the graphics guys what's going on for people adding on or for bet sizes.
And you know what? Credit to the graphics guy, because his name's Mike. Because like when I'm watching poker on a poker table, I can see the bets and I know how much exactly they are when they're put out.
You're aware of the dynamics.
Correct. But when I'm watching the stream, it is very hard to see what the action is and how much people are betting, and like being fast about it, because now obviously they have to get the bets out to you guys, so it's tough work.
Definitely, especially when the straddles are being varied. It's not consistent.
People are just splashing chips out.
Yeah,
and like
if the game was consistently, say at 1-3-10 or whatever it was, it's easier to keep that up. But the action moves quickly and there's a lot of it.
Looks like the Warriors beat the Blazers. Now it's 3-0 series.
Bad Beat 831 on YouTube. What's the biggest pot you guys have seen at Bay 101 or Matrix? So I wasn't there when Tango had that big pot against Kumar, but that I think was for like 60K each.
That was like 120K.
Yeah, it was a little over 100K pot, but there ended up being, and that was a 10-25-50 game.
There's some shenanigans in the game that.
But that was the biggest pot that I think has gone down. And then at Bay 101, the game is the 5-5-10-20 game.
Never big enough.
No, it's capped at 5K. So even when stacks are deep,
And then Wisco Baron, I think it's a 30-minute delay.
Yeah, 20 or 30-minute delay, something like that.
Yeah. So we got, I think, Pasto opens it up in the hijack to 70 or something like that.
Frank flats a cutoff and Brian completes a straddle.
Interesting to see if Pasto's going to choose to c-bet this board. I think, from what I've seen so far, I think Pasto is choosing a very low c-bet like strategy against like the loser. But he actually decides to just c-bet 3/4 pot. But it looks like when the looser field comes in, like he tends to not c-bet.
Yeah. Also in a situation where you have a multi-way pot, 3 ways to the flop, it's a pairs to heads up. Bluffing frequencies usually go down because instead of bluffing one person, you have to bluff 2. So your bluff should be, you have a lot more barrel cards on the turn. It's less like kind of one and done, like c-bet bluffs. But he went for it there and got it through.
Nice hand for Nurse John. Queens suited.
Calls.
Oh, just for our viewers, the blues are 1s, the reds are 5s, the greens are 25s, and the whites are $100.
Yeah, and here we have Frank adding on and raising to some amount. We don't know what he has yet. Jack 9 off. So definitely a very
There's
aggressive.
Veronica looking at it and trying to just sing something to us.
Looking at the camera.
Looks like she was rapping as she folds. She's supposed to rap with aces.
But yeah, Frank definitely showing his aggression here. To open over 2 limps, you want to be opening a little bit of a tighter range than you would if it had folded to you. And Jack 9 off.
Brian's trying to hit the wheel on these guys.
Brian with the 5-3 off coming in from the big blind.
Let's get it. I always root for the wheel.
Always root for the wheel.
King's full.
Do you know who that is?
No.
No, neither do I.
Price. I think it's a Kings fan, right?
All right. So Justin's saying that Veronica is mic'd up, and we need to change over to it. Let's. I'm gonna start clicking buttons here, I think.
Oh, okay. So if you hit table,
Table on, comms off.
How do you counter someone like Frank who stabs a lot? Is that what they said? Yeah. Anybody here have an answer?
I have a fucking monster.
Nobody. No help.
Like we have a pro here.
How do you counter somebody like Frank who stabs a lot? That's not a strategy. Call a raise. Call raise or fold.
Mike, are we back on it?
And then the guy who runs out of
Oh, both of them are. Oh, you need to take one off, man.
I took.
What's a raise?
There we go.
All right, there we are. Figuring out what all these buttons do.
All right.
Got it.
Sorry, we
All
won't.
good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, let me do something real quick.
Wait, that's for the. We're not.
We got a bomb pot code. We got a new dealer.
Oh, do we have a new dealer? Bomb pot Asaurus. This should be for 35.
I like the bomb pot, but it's so funny. I'm a noob at this, you guys. I know. I'm not. My first time commentating.
Only my second time commentating,
Yeah.
so I'm
Could
new
be
to this
could
too.
be my last. Could be my first. You never know. Click the bomb pot. Small one.
Small one. Leave it in the corner.
We got a bomb potosaurus here. See what's going on. Everyone loves a bomb pot. All right, let's see some action.
See what's going on.
Yeah, we might switch. Maybe when there's like an all-in and like a long tank, we might switch to the table for like, see what they're saying. Because
Definitely know that the table commentary, especially with Veronica and friends,
especially if
quite
Frank
lively.
is tanking. Even if Frank has gone all in, he's not going to be silent. Come on. Oh, the 70's off. Oh, kings. Always the ace on the flop.
Always the ace.
Always the ace. Why do I have a sick feeling that
Nobody has.
actually
ace-X,
no,
though.
Frank is gonna win this hand.
We'll see. We'll see what's going
I
on.
was gonna say the 7 deuces, but like
Just depends if Frank stabs flop. I would expect flop to check through.
I doubt it.
Oh, actually, no. Veronica has a gutter on the
If
button.
it checks to Frank, he will bet. Oh, he checked the
Veronica turns the straight.
Turns everybody dead.
Redemption. Although nobody has much to. So it looks like Alicia stabbed with the pair.
Oh, Justin gives the tip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nershawn calls with a 7. Mike calls with kings. Veronica's going to go for a raise here. Interesting to see what side she goes with. Looks like
240.
250.
Oh, 250.
250.
A lot of
250.
Oh man.
Oh, man.
Alicia wonders why. Might be commenting in the chat.
The hell?
2 7 deuce offs in there.
The pair.
Oh, with the wheel draw.
Pair and an inside straight draw.
That's an inside. Yeah, it is an inside straight draw. It's the second overpair we've seen cracked in a bomb pot. I have a feeling Frank will show it.
Frank's going to, probably, well, he's likely going to muck. Veronica's bluffs here, going to be really high equity, and kings are in bad shape against any value. So we'll let it go. In a bomb pot, he says.
That's tilting. Now we have deeper stacks now.
Definitely have deeper stacks. Good times.
Good times, he says.
I like big pots. I like bigger games. I like action, bigger stacks.
He ain't no nit though.
Not a nit.
Ben J plays very good hands, good ranges, tight,
Aggressive.
but he is no nit. I can speak from experience. He's been all in at some point in his career
with
the 6-3 off.
with 6-3 off.
I have seen.
I won a 12.4K pot with 6.
Casinos
6-3
are
off.
smoke free, but
They're
yeah,
smoking areas.
there's smoking areas. You can probably smoke outside within a certain amount of distance from the entrance, but yeah.
Yeah. How did these stacks get so big?
People reload.
Yeah, it's a stack match game. So initially, $500 is the max, but the second somebody wins a pot, you can match the big stack. So, people are, just adding on to whoever has the most.
We see a lot of pocket pairs out there. Ace 9-0.
Bart flops trips.
Oh, look at Bart defending his button.
Suited.
It's suited.
The Nitreg says you can smoke at Thunder, meaning Thunder Valley.
Yes, but Nitreg, you can't smoke in the poker room anymore, or like anywhere near the poker room anymore, which is really nice.
Yeah, I guess it's that way at Grayton too, where because they're Indian casinos, you can smoke on the general casino floor, but the poker rooms are sealed off, and within the poker room
with
you
the
cannot
door,
smoke.
which is really a glass
Yeah.
door, and like the tables are way far away from the door, which is really nice. Kind of unfortunate to flop trips with Queen 4 clubs when you're kind of gambling pre-flop.
Nobody else has anything.
Just to take it out with a C-bet on like a two-tone 10 high board.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? If anybody else has any more questions, feel free to fire them out.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
We're here to.
I don't do commentary very often, like I'm enjoying this
is
a
it.
lot.
Normally it's Ab and I like watching maybe like a live at the bike or Poker After Dark where we're kind of talking amongst ourselves, and here we're just doing it.
Yeah, I'm normally just
On
sitting
the
there
camera.
talking with people at the table, maybe on YouTube a little bit more often than not, like watching sports while I'm playing. Like this is very new to me.
It's a different perspective.
It's very new perspective.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool.
Josh was asking why is it 8-handed? It would have been a full game, but Anthony H canceled, and
Is there a seat open?
yeah. So often these like kind of private games or hosted games, it's at kind of the discretion of the host, and given that it's a live stream and you want a little more action, they kind of losing one seat, allows people to play a little bit wider and, due to the cancellation, not a full game.
Neither. And Nitrek, I don't know, Nitrek, you should come through and see if there's a seat open. I'm not sure. Maybe there's a list.
And I believe hand shuffling is due to the RFID cards are a little bit thicker. They can't go through the shuffle machine.
Yeah. There's seats open at the 1-3 and the 2-5 game and all the limit games. Nitrek, you should come down and see where the action's at. There's also been a stream here on Wednesday that has been like really fun for me to watch because one of my college friends plays it. Cameron Smith. He's a good regular. Plays it. I think it's a 5-5 with a $10 straddle. If I can, I try to make it down, but that's kind of not a great day for me. But yeah, it's also a really good game to tune into and watch some good poker.
Yep.
I think there's a huge straddle right now because it's 217 to call, and I think Postle just limped.
All right, so Frank made it 220.
Oh my God, there's a $220 straddle right now, and a limp in the dark from Postle. I don't think Postle has looked yet, right? Oh yeah, sorry, I gotta take that off.
Take that bomb pot logo off. Sorry for that. So here we have napkins versus napkins in the big straddle pot. So.
This would be a better board for Postle to limp, given that Frank checked the straddle, meaning he doesn't hit these high card boards as often.
Yeah, if Postle's limping in some of his stronger hands, which he definitely is allowed to be given how much dead money's out there.
Oh, I thought he went all in. I'd be like, that's so sick.
No. And Frank's just showing him that he has 7 high and is about to muck.
Come on, you gotta.
Cheers, my guy.
Cheers. Maybe I should come play a Stones live stream sometimes. I haven't played in probably.
You've played
8 months.
Harlan's game a little bit, right? Or
oh, that was for an hour.
No, but you've played the Friday stream game. It's a 5-10-20 or something before. Or?
There's no Friday stream game.
No Saturday. You played a 5-10.
No.
I've watched you play 5-10-20 here before.
Yeah, that was Harlan's game for an hour because there's
the one time
two people bailed.
Ah,
but I always like watching my play and going over it and I think it's cool just to visit the area and
definitely
see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I've only times I've played on a live stream has been this game 4 or 5 times. But it's the way that this game flows compared to the games I'm playing in San Jose is just, a lot looser, a lot more action. Having the variable size straddle makes you, approach the game slightly differently because you're not just going off a consistent, $10 straddle or $20 straddle.
Yep.
But
he's trying to see how many cards it takes to make a straight with King 4, and I think it's too many, so he folds. He's like, fuck. Oops. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, man. I got no suits. I see a 9-10 jack
so
flop.
Brian limp calls.
The 8-7.
All right, and on a monotone.
This is a pretty action flop for there are 2 hands.
And turn the king. Flop goes check, check.
Check. I imagine Brian won't just be folding to a single bet because there are, a diamond draw out there. And Nurse John decides to play a little more passive and check the river.
Back. Surprised to see that.
I think
once he checks the flop, he's one of the strongest hands he's going to have on the turn.
Correct. You could have aces with it.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Unblock the king though.
Yeah, but
nah, obviously. I think Nurse John probably missed out on a bet. I think when Brian just triple checks, he's got maybe a pair at best.
Yeah.
I think maybe Nurse John was afraid to get check raised and get blown off of his hand. Or maybe he also didn't think he would get called by worse. And you know, you honestly never know.
Yeah, you have to really look at what Brian's limp call range looks like.
Yeah.
Bart, all right, with $15 straddle, Bart opens up to 55. Ace queen off. Brian calls ace 7 of clubs.
Suited. Postal with the skinny. The skinny
The
is
skinny.
the 3 deuce.
Famous from the Peppermill Poker Room
Correct.
up in Reno. I just want to chime in here. I believe I called Mike Postle for having the biggest pot of the night, and he's currently in the lead.
Hey, my guy's in 3rd place.
Your guy's in 3rd place.
He had the lead, but he got caught up too when the stacks got deeper.
Yeah, still action to go. All right, Jack 4-3 monotone.
This is a really good board for Bart.
Yeah, Bart here has, you know, the ace of spades in his hand is a very valuable card. He also had the pre-flop lead, where he's gonna.
I wonder if this Bart decides he wants to check raise or he wants to just start going nuts with it, because he has a very like tough decision right now. He actually does decide to go nuts with it. He's checking, which means he's got a plan for this hand.
And also bets.
There we go. Check.
Oh, check call. I
Check
like
call from
like
Bart.
this.
Okay. What do you think about Bart's check call in this spot?
I think it's really good. You know, you're allowing players to stab. You know, you're going to be doing this with a lot of your stronger hands in here. You know, you have overcards, you have the nut flush draw. Wow, and backs into Broadway.
Even though he's not going to get paid because Postle has nothing. But I wonder if like the river was a brick and Bart... I wonder if Bart would decide to turn his hand to a bluff to try to get smaller pairs to fold, or he would check and take a showdown. And I wonder if Postle would actually fold on like a let's say like a 10 river. But I mean this runout's like kind of boring. Just Bart just kind of bets and Postle just folds. Nothing really going on here.
Yeah, and Bart bets 400. Bart 80% on the river.
Yep. Frank's VPIP continues to go up every update. This is a good sign.
Yes, sir.
Cheers, my boy.
Cheers, buddy.
I like the emoji guy with the shades. I would never wear shades at the table, but I'm a big troll. I would sometimes just to mess with my friends. Queen Jack of Hearts in the muck from under the gun too. I think
it's definitely an open.
I think that's
a strong hand.
On a game that's very loose, I think that should be in an opening range. But he just chooses to take the conservative edge. I mean, understandable.
Frank and Postle in a heads-up battle. Not the first.
This is kind of a mini cooler where two people actually flop a pair that's playing a lot of hands.
Definitely going to see the flop go bet call.
Yeah. Usually when two people are like playing loose and they both flop pairs, they're going to get to the river. That's just like, you know, unless like an ace rolls off or something. 6. Oh,
That's an interesting turn for Frank
very
here.
good card. That's a very good card.
This is a situation where, you know, Postle is usually only going to have one pair type hands. And Frank, you know, if he's playing the 5-4 off, is he playing 5-3 suited? Probably. Is he playing pocket 5s, pocket 3s? You know, a lot of different straights. And I like, it looks like he's cutting out, just calling chips. I'd like to have seen a raise here.
Yeah, this would have been a sweet hand to raise with. Like, you feel like your 5s are not ahead. You can bluff a guy off a king when, you know, you have all these outs. You can also get called with spades, you know, like this would be a sweet hand to bluff with. But he decides to try to take his equity instead and like call and play rivers. I think Postle will bet again, just because he thinks when Frank doesn't raise him on the flop of the turn, his king is probably good. On a really safe run out too, I think he thinks Frank will pay him off with a king a lot, so he'll probably go like half pot. I think if he had like 2-pair plus, he would use a really big size. But with top pair, like Frank pays him off. Yeah.
Lots of action.
Lots of action.
Zucro on Twitch. Did you guys play the Quantum?
I'm gonna play it tomorrow. I'm just gonna buy straight into day 2. I just got back up to Sacramento today. I had a tennis league match on the way up from San Jose. My little brother's birthday, this weekend. So I'm just taking him shopping for his birthday. It was his actual birthday last weekend, but we already did the partying part. So I'm just doing it. I'm just hanging out with him and doing the little post birthday stuff with him. So
I will not be playing the Quantum.
So yeah, if you see me tomorrow on the day 2, just come say what's up.
Yeah, I drove up today and I'll be driving back to San Jose after this game.
You want fire?
I'm not gonna be playing. I take weekends off in general.
Me too. This is a break for me. Shit. Yeah, I'm good. Paul get an inner. I noticed that when Paul's in late position, he tends to just open any 2 connected cards.
Yeah.
He's a guy that you can kind of 3-bet a lot. Just something to keep in mind of. Bart's set mining with the 3s, with the 2s.
Deuces, ducks.
I haven't seen a set flopped yet.
Earlier we pocket 3s flopped a set.
No.
At the start of the session.
Oh, that's the very beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning. Queen 7-5, 2-tone. So it looks like Postle put out a C-bet.
Or Brian led. You never know.
No, Postle taking it down.
I noticed among the high population of players at the 1-3, 2-5 and the 5-10 lineups, people love half pot. That's been the norm for so long, and just half pot in terms of when they have it or when they don't have it, and I think we're slowly shifting into using just different sizings in general, but the half pot just seems to be the favorite.
Yeah, it seems to be
people love the half pot sizing.
A default. Whereas that's something that's definitely big and no limit, where you can bet as much as you want or as little as you want. If that's betting a quarter of the pot, if that's over betting 2 times the pot,
11%.
You have a lot of choices, and those yield different expectations. So thinking what different bet sizings mean, and how that affects continuing ranges or things of that nature.
I see Jamie getting ready to put some chips in.
He's been playing very snug so far.
Yeah.
So.
I imagine him to have something very similar to what he just open mucked earlier. Maybe king queen off, or queen 10 suited, or maybe a suited ace. Maybe even 9-7 suited. I think he's genuinely tanking right now. He doesn't just have aces and just is gonna raise. But I think he's gonna end up folding just because he's given away. I feel like he's given away a lot already. Pocket 10s? Oh my god!
What is he playing?
How is that going to muck?
If he's not playing 10s.
Oh my god.
To a single open.
I don't know what to say to that.
So this is usually a good explanation of when you're playing possibly too big of a game of what you're used to.
I don't know about that, but okay.
If say you're a regular 1-2 player, right?
Yeah.
And people start opening to 75, or people are opening to 50 or 100. Wow. Please call your pocket 10s to 1-bet or 3-bet.
I understand that
I have no idea what's going on.
Playing tight and solid, will net you some profit and no limit hold'em. But at some point, you have to have this threshold of hands you're going to play. Aces and kings, you just don't get them often enough. But I see where it's coming from. Tight and solid strategy will win. No, I used to do that too. I used to
but not 10s in the big blind and the
Okay,
straddle.
yeah.
Come on.
And so, it comes back to learning that we should maybe expand, from what we know. And
if a guy's playing as many,
this is a learning.
It's definitely a learning experience.
Yeah.
But I think if someone like Frank who's been playing 70% of hands or something to that effect. You know, pocket tens are definitely ahead of that range, and you should be getting in there.
Yeah, you know, Dan M just nailed it. He knows that these are
CJ
CJ approved ranges to a minimum. But you know what? This is I forgot what seat 9's dude. Jamie's strategy. This is what I'm like kind of like figuring out from his strategy. He feels that everybody on the game is very loose, and that if he waits for a very nutted hand, people will give him action, which is probably true in a vacuum. He will probably win money by waiting for the absolute nuts. But I think you don't earn your true potential profit from playing just the nuts.
You have to see if a situation is profitable over the long run.
Correct.
And base your decisions off of that.
Yeah. But the way he will play will win. It will.
Maybe in a lineup like this, but
Yes, but like, you know, I think he's playing this way because of this lineup that opens 6x or opens 12x or straddles for 1,000. You know, like it's like, yeah.
The bird says we have a subscriber in the game. So we joke with our friend Spencer, who recommends extremely conservative plays as being a Bird Academy member. You know, just taking things to an absolute
He never
extreme.
wins with like kings or worse. He doesn't even win with aces half the time.
Yeah,
so
he always gets his aces cracked.
So he folds. Maybe maybe it wasn't tens, but
yeah, we did have the graphic error earlier.
Given that Jamie folded Queen Jack suited from undergun 2 without even thinking about it, there was a possibility that was actually tens because, you know, with tank fold, like another like similar hand to Queen Jack suited. I think tens is way better than Queen Jack suited.
And here we're seeing Frank play pocket tens slightly differently.
Slick bricks.
Slick bricks from Jamie King Deuce.
If Jamie bluffs in a 6 spot later, I think it's gonna be because if he missed his ace king.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would have to work.
So it was a $15 straddle from Postle, and then Frank opens huge.
What's huge?
I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah.
125.
You get to bet a lot.
All right, well, let's see what happens.
It's just like a 8x open.
King Queen 4. I actually really like this bet from Frank here. You're going to be denying a lot of Postle's. Wow.
Postle just doesn't
Calls.
believe.
No.
Believes his ace high is good. It's actually a really good turn curve for Postle. I wouldn't be surprised if he continued again.
Frank 2 barrels.
Because now there's 2 flush draws, board paired. Postle makes a good fold on the turn. Kind of like, yeah. Decides it's not worth it to call 2 straights with ace high. Thinks he is gonna have some better hands. Oh man, I wish like I could just like watching poker from like the outside seeing the cards is so great. It's just like I don't know, it's just something about it that I love. It's just so boring seeing my own cards and just like folding when I don't have stuff and like staring at the board to see if I hit something.
Frank putting out a straddle to some amount.
Did he put out the V again?
Looked like he just kind of splash trips in there. Looks like a straddle to 85.
It looks like Jamie's tanking again. He folds king queen off. I actually think he should just shove all in. He's got like less than 10 big blinds to the effective $85 straddle. But again, it's not actually 10 big blinds. It's just 10 big blinds for that one hand. It's actually sick as Frank would have called, but never know.
No, Frank raises.
Of course, Frank's gonna raise with that. And I think Postle is not gonna fold this to a raise. Given that how much action Frank's giving to the game, and Postle has like very decent cards against like somebody who's giving a lot of action, he will not fold this even out of position.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people say, "Oh man, Postle's playing so bad," or like, "This is such a bad hand to call. You're out of position, whatever." But like, when you have a guy who's giving a lot of action, like he deserves to get action back. He's giving you all this action when he has really bad cards. Like he deserves to. When you give him action with these kind of hands, it's good for the game. Oh man,
Right, Frank has
that's a cold deck.
So it's an overpair and a gutter versus Postle's top pair and a backdoor flush draw.
Depends on how much she straddles for, Dan. You never know.
Expect this to go check bet call. You can see Postle's just cracking up laughing. Looks like it goes lead from Postle and then a call from Frank.
That's. Oh no.
Oh, that was on the turn. Oh.
I think it went check bet call, check bet call, check. Oh, it went check check on the river. Wait. Check check on the river.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think it went check bet call, check bet call, check check. That'd make the most sense.
Sevens take it down.
I think from a hand reading perspective, if you're watching the stream and you see that the showdown is Frank had sevens,
Yep.
and it would have won if Jamie went all in or raised, I think you can assume that Jamie saw the stream and would be like, oh, yes, my king queen fold is good because I would have lost.
Yeah,
And
it's
so-
results oriented, and we don't want to be like that.
No, we don't want to be result oriented, but we can make this very. I'm gonna make this a very small assumption that maybe Jamie will continually play tight because he would have lost. But say if he made a boat, he'd be like,
Yeah.
ah,
Then you could have
crap,
opened up.
I should have played.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll play the next one, but it's like, you know, the continually like kind of like
momentum of it.
reaffirmation of like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I made a good fold because I would have lost, and he would have not have folded. Something to think about. A lot of good hands getting in there.
Veronica straddles for 20.
Come on, V. Let's get something good. Let's get like not kings, but like she's
Oh,
got a raise again.
Tens.
Tens.
I like it. So when it all limps to her, she can safely.
I think
assume she
she's
has the
actually
best
gonna
hand.
get 4 callers.
She can safely assume she has the best hand.
I think
here.
she's actually gonna get all the callers. I don't think anybody's folding.
All right. Fold from Nurse John.
Show some discipline. Pasta's gonna look at her and then say, okay. Pasta is such a character. I love that guy. He's a nice guy. I can't take Frank seriously.
All right. Well. All right. Cool. So here Veronica has an overpair, 9-8-5.
How did none of the
Two
callers
diamonds.
hit this flop? Would you check in Veronica's spot or would
No,
you bet?
I would definitely be betting here.
What sizing would you use? And like, what's your plan? Because this is obviously a board that's insanely scary for like
It's a scary board, but
for the razor, because you have like all these callers at like.
it looks like she just goes for half pot here, which I think's fine. You're here to fold out, a lot of these overcard type hands or get value from one pair type hands.
She is not going to face any resistance on this
No,
board.
this is just gonna get through.
I think.
And also having tens, you block Jack 10.
Do you bluff when the jack rolls off?
You just
Do you just raise
You don't-
all in?
you don't
when
need
a
to buy
seven? When a 7 is, you just raise all in.
definitely a hand where you expect to get a lot of folds and take down a pretty healthy pot considering everybody.
Healthy, he says.
Yeah, and see here, it looks like Frank flicked out a chip to have the dealer rabbit
So
aboard.
if I have $500 in my pocket, it's a healthy pocket. It's a
Everything's
it's a
relative.
It's a healthy amount.
Everything's relative. And Veronica takes down a nice little pot there.
Oh, so they're calling down the Stones Live list.
Yeah, so somebody, the stream's on a half-hour
They
delay.
called Patrick Laffey for the 1-3
I am
Stones
not
Live?
sure.
Or
I assume
Cameron Smith.
I assume they both would have knocked on the door if they showed up here, but
That's true. Or they would have came in and made faces at us.
Sheen Sense Bulldozer, appreciate the compliment. This is what Adam and I do usually, but never on camera. So it's kind of fun for us to be here and share our thoughts with you guys. And watch an action-packed game.
Appreciate the comment, Sheen Sense.
A little bit of technical knowledge, a little bit of just having fun with the game and not taking it too seriously. But
Yeah, well, couldn't find a better thing to do on this specific Saturday, so happy to be here. I see a bunch of 8-3 offsuits in there. I think they're trying to play blackjack on a hold'em game.
Queen 10 deuce monotone. Not sure what Brian has here.
I'm assuming Brian's more likely to hit the flop than them if they have all these like cards.
Yeah.
Brian checks. Okay.
Turn offsuit ace.
I think he showed an ace.
Brian stabs, takes it down.
Shows a card.
Yeah.
Ben J.
Hello, sir. $25 straddle this hand from Bart, it looks like.
Bart's been mixing it up. Like, I know Bart's been mainly trying to mix it up in late position, but regardless, he's getting in a lot of pots. Like, I think it's really good for the game.
Definitely, and with how loose this game is playing, Bart's,
Adjusting correctly.
I think he's adjusting well, and
yeah,
definitely opening up compared to probably what he would play in, slightly, more tighter game or tougher game. But here's, relying on post-flop skill and hand reading and reading textures to...
Frank has not looked yet. I am 100% sure because Mike pushed him his cards, put it on the reader. Okay, he's looking now.
No, he's taking a
I
peek.
thought he was going to call dark.
I mean, he's been known to do that.
Veronica is not trying to hit the wheel.
No.
Outflopped by the ace.
Goes check, check, turns trips, which is interesting because on the turn ace, this now cuts down on ace-x combos, where Nurse John can feel that his nines are often going to be good.
Dan finally decided to show his true colors. I like Dan. Yeah, Dan's good.
Dan's eased up a bit since he's stopped grinding all the time. He's got to let a little bit of it out, though.
I know.
But yeah, the game's hosted by Veronica. I was in the booth with Veronica last month, which was my first time doing commentary, but she's getting in the game playing this month and playing some interesting hands.
I can actually 3-bet Dan now, and Dan will fold and not say anything. That's just a great thing now. Dan will just not even look at you. He'll just be like, he's 3-betting me. I fold. I just don't have it.
Nurse John, Kings. Cowboys.
Doya in Vietnamese. Doi meaning pair, and yeah meaning kings. Definitely defending the $25 straddle with the 9-7
So we see Jamie here pick up, which is why they just called down the board a little while ago. Hopefully get someone in there with more eager to see a flop.
We need
Ace, ace, queen, rainbow. Goes check, check, turns the ace.
potential jackpot board for people at the table, but there is no jackpot this hand, even though Nurse John had a jackpot hand. For who's up and down, I honestly have no idea.
I think one of the possible graphics. You also have to know how much people are in for, and was people continue to add on.
I'll let you know that Alicia is probably still in for her original 1200. I am pretty sure she has not reloaded. You should probably check on where the whites are at. Like, I know Frank is reloaded.
Veronica reloaded at one point.
Veronica reloaded. I'm just gonna assume Bart's been pulling chips out of his pocket or reloading without.
Nurse John looks like he's up a bit. Postle's definitely winning.
Postle could be in for anywhere from 2K to like 4K. You honestly never know. I'm gonna assume Jamie is still even, as he has not been V-pivoting very much. And then who's next to Bart? Who's seat 7 or 8?
It had been Brian, but then Brian just moved into the 9 seat. Yeah, Jamie got picked up.
Jamie picked up. Okay.
Yeah.
Love you too, Dan.
Dan's a guy that Adam and I have both grinded with for the last several years, so everything he's saying in chat's just
is fantastic
just
player.
needles.
Yeah, fantastic player. Loves to needle me. Yeah, gained a little bit of weight. Had to get that one out there. But doing big things. Dan's a nice guy. He just
all right. So we have
he just busted my leg. All right.
Short-handed game for the moment.
Short-handed must be eight-handed.
Well, no. People were lobbying because Frank's the hijack and then Alicia's the button. So I think Veronica was up from the table.
I appreciate that. I can't be stopped. I really do appreciate that.
Maybe not.
Nice. Frank getting in there.
Possible with a gutter to the wheel. Continues. Turn 9 of clubs. Frank 2 barrels.
I wonder if Frank randomly takes his no equity hands and decides I'm just gonna triple barrel it, like, you know, just cause. All right, I'm pretty sure I got this on point this time, and so I think we have a bomb pot coming up.
All right.
I'm gonna throw it on
Put it in the corner,
top left,
and then we'll remember to take it off after.
Yes.
Should be for.
As for the results,
40 now?
I'm gonna say Nurse John is winning, like maybe 1,000 to 2,000. Posto's up small. Frank is probably losing. Veronica's up a little bit. Alicia's losing like 500 or 600. Bart's probably losing 2, and then Brian is lobbying seat 9 now, and he's probably like losing probably like a couple $1,000. But I'm honestly not sure. I'm just kind of like looking at stacks and seeing what they look like now, because you can tell by like chip orientation too, like how the chips are stacked and like how many small chips they have and like all this stuff, like how much people are up or down.
Yeah.
Yes, Dan, a little bit. I don't know. I'm guessing.
All right. So bomb pot for 40 here.
All right. We need an action flop. Ace is king.
Sheen Sense, if you were buying into a game that's been going for a while, where would you want your stack to be when you buy in?
That all depends on your bankroll.
It's your bankroll. I definitely think Ab and I are here. We view the game very similarly. I think we both come in here trying to match the big stack and
honestly,
attempt to cover.
a lot of people think they're comfortable buying as 200 big blinds, 100 big blinds,
Yeah, it
300
depends on
big
what
blinds,
you're
or
used to.
covering. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, Veronica is pocket 4s. Let's see. Queen 3.
3. Bart has trips.
I think Bart will play a checking strategy from the small blind. Oh, I think Bart is. So I think Bart's playing a strategy where he's just checking from the small blind.
With 100% of hands.
With 100%, just because.
Helps balance it out.
Oh
my God. Veronica's going to get stacked here.
Oh my God, that's such a dirty card.
1 out, they get stacked for Veronica.
Why, V? This is V and friends. No.
Wow.
Veronica's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, Veronica thinks you said the gin card.
She can't wait to bet. Oh, that's the worst. I love Bart, too, but man, what a cold egg. I wonder if Bart calls or check raises.
Bart called.
I actually really like Bart's call to keep the field in with flush draws and straight draws.
You have the board so locked up.
Yeah, you have all the cards. Like you even have the 4 that hit the turn. Like, you know, in case like Veronica wants to bet a 4, you even have that card like locked up. 3 would be her saving grace or the queen. That's
wow,
the worst card in
aces
deck.
spade,
That's the worst
really
card
bad cover.
in deck.
The backdoor flush comes in.
Oh man. But given that Veronica just called with the kings earlier on the queen X board,
Yeah.
I think when Bart checks and she bets, he
Bart
leads. Oh, okay. I think she's gonna get stacked because I think Veronica's gonna raise and then he's gonna.
No, she bet 150. I think the graphics are off. They went.
We'll go to the table. Actually, I don't think anybody's talking. Actually.
Interested to see what happens here.
Yeah.
All right, so
I wonder if Veronica ever thinks like this. She should just call, even though I think because Because I think with the non-queen full house, she will not likely get 3 bets in against Bart and get called.
Yeah.
So I think her hand like can be a call, but if she thinks Bart will call with stuff that's like a flush, then she will move all in. But I'm not sure what she's gonna do. We should watch.
Wow.
I don't think there's any table talk right now, so we're gonna just keep it here.
Veronica's replaying this hand through her mind. What does Bart's value region look like? What does his bluffing region look like? Where it goes check bet and look like.
It kind of looks like she's just about to call.
Looks like she's just gonna call.
And I think Veronica thinks on rivers people are not going to be very bluff heavy and stack off light, so to multiple raises. So I think she's thinking about just like paying, like just calling and thinking she's gonna win kind of often.
Also, if you 3-bet the river here, you probably fold out the flushes, which are hands that you want to get called. And Bart could have aces here even that play this
Bart
way.
can have aces.
Bart can have aces.
He
So
double check called. Yeah, for sure can have aces. Ace 4.
unlikely in this game.
Ace 3. Okay, she's not.
No
my
way.
God, she folds. That is insane, Veronica. My God.
Oh my God. She mucked the king 10 earlier as well.
Oh
Few
my
really
God,
big folds.
Veronica, what?
I mean, you can have flushes too. I just call the river.
He would
a
have
lot.
took Bart. You would have gotten my money.
Like Bart would be raising some flushes there.
Bart, I might just hand you $475 later, just because
Nope.
you just
You
deserve to
paid.
win that money. That money it should be yours. But Veronica decides she would rather buy me dinner and a nice bottle of wine than pay Bart off. So I'm sorry, Bart. I kind of won that pot there. Ben won that pot too. I might buy you a drink later just because that money is going towards my dinner. Oh my God, that is insane. Veronica, I need you to explain to me what you were thinking there. My
Wow.
God. But you know what? The ace in the river is not an action killer because that flush gets
It completes
there.
the flush.
It completes the flush. And so if Bart ever had nut flushes, then like raising just seems like such a viable
Also,
option.
Bart had the queen of spades in his hand. If he has queen X of spades, he's blocking boat combos and has, second nut flush.
Correct.
He can definitely value raise. He's value raising worse than full houses there.
Yeah. But Veronica thought he was not bluffing and thought he was very weighted towards queen high full house, queen boats.
Queen X, yeah.
Queen X boats. They don't call it V and friends for no reason.
So here it looks like Postle limp calls queen 8 off against Frank ace king off. Flop comes down 10-9-7 rainbow.
Gotta bet your ace king when you miss.
I think this is a board I'd definitely be checking my ace king on. Postle's going to be having, a lot of connection with this board. And Frank has better bluffs to choose from.
Oh, who's the negative free roll? Who's this guy?
What's up, Ocho? In the chat.
Wow. Okay, don't take me off the list for this game. I don't want to be in this game anymore.
And then we have a new player here.
How am I gonna make money?
7 or 8 seat. Got the shades on.
Oh my God, I know who that is too. What's his name?
You're the local.
He plays a lot of Florida Omaha. He plays a lot of limit games. Hollywood is the name he puts himself up as.
I believe he's the one that does intricate chip stacks.
Correct. He does do.
Veronica has told me about
Yeah.
him before. Wow, Nurse John. Kings on the button. Expect 3 bets here.
Alicia's kind of been running into it every time she opens. She's been, kind of facing 3 bets from ace queen off.
This is a
I think Paso's actually gonna fold.
No.
I say that, but I'm just.
I think Paso goes call, 4-bet, fold in that order. In terms of what options he picks.
Yeah.
I mean, out of the small blind, it's kind of a rough spot to be in. Cold calling.
Frank's just gonna get in there with the wheel cards.
Attempt at your own risk.
I think he's asking Alicia, "Are you gonna raise if I call?" Because that's always the concern when you're cold calling a raise is when like if people are behind you, you're gonna raise.
Yeah, people behind you, you know,
folds.
4-bet hands.
Alicia is very shallow.
Expect Alicia to fold here.
Yeah.
You know, ace-10 off's one of the worst hands you can kind of defend a 3-bet with.
7 deuce off. Never know.
Not in this lineup, never know.
Oh, top set.
Top
the
set
nuts.
versus gutter.
I wonder if Nurse John decides to slow play this hand. It would be very reasonable to slow play this hand. But I think with a lot of draws out there and the tendency he chose to raise the straight earlier because a flush draw came in, I think John will not be slow playing.
Oh, he bet a lot too. He bet 60%.
Yeah, top set.
Block a lot of the continuing range. This is the spot we were talking about earlier, where if you want to be, you know, c-betting a high frequency, you know, as the 3-better on a king high board, you know, you have the ace kings, you have aces, things of that nature. But you also have your bluffs, or when you're c-betting, you know, for a smaller size, you allow people to continue, you know, a larger percentage of their holdings, and you're not really afraid of much. You know, when people cold call 3-bets from the small blind, they're not going to, you know, the flush draws aren't something you're particularly worried about.
Yeah,
You know,
and
you have the board really
king's
locked
actually
up.
a really bad card for the small blind cold call range.
Yes.
10's actually a good card for them though.
Yeah, but if you know, see bet on the smaller side, you know,
Never know.
you're trying to build a pot when you have these value hands. When you take it down on the flop, you know, you kind of just give your opponents an easy chance to muck and get away from it, rather than building a pot and forcing them to kind of continue. A lot of ways to this flop. Jack 10-10 flush draw. Brian with the best of it.
The flop might check through.
Flop could check through. Brian doesn't need a ton of protection with the ace of hearts.
Frank has a kiss before checking. Very classy check.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, Brian checks. When you're so many ways, you know, you're afraid of 10x. Here, it's definitely a scary turn card, but ace-jack, ace of heart definitely ahead of all the ranges. You know, would expect people to bet 10x on the flop.
This turn might check through again. But Brian might see value in his jack when nobody bets with his nut flush draw. And wants to just do some small betting just because he think he has a value hand.
I mean, you want straight draws to continue. If someone turned a 9.
Frank says nope. I block both the straight draws and I'm open-ended.
Brian taking a, you know, more passive conservative line. River
3-pair.
River top 3.
Top 3.
Frank here, bottom of his range, gonna put out a bluff.
I actually don't hate Frank's bluff.
I don't hate Frank's bluff either.
I actually like it.
And he's just gonna get called
Sometimes you just get called in these spots, whatever.
and lose.
He has plenty of hands that can just, or Brian has plenty of hands that can just fold on the river.
Yeah.
So. You gotta drink with me, man. You can't just like leave me.
All right.
I'm playing the tournament here tomorrow.
I know.
Oh, the Nit Reg.
Nit Reg is in the building.
Cheers to that. We got the railbirds out here.
We do. Should we try to mute us for a minute and throw it on the table?
Should we go to the table? Actually, I gotta take a piss anyway.
I better get my head back in the game.
Oh, basketball.
I was like, what is that? 25 straight. The 9 to the queen is not a straight? Are you serious? Everywhere else I play, that's a straight. I hate stone. This place fucking sucks.
All the deal involved.
4-card straights aren't a real thing? I'm sorry. God damn it.
I'm gonna raise. I'm gonna raise.
You actually had the dealer confused for a second. You were so happy you won. Sean's like, wait a minute, Sean, I was trying to take care of you. I'm like, where's the pot going?
Yeah. Somebody told me it was caramel stuff, so let's see what I'll do.
How many orbits until he blinds out?
Let me just get some more
It
sauce.
looks melted, so let's see.
No, that's caramel on the top of it. I'll look at
Check.
the
How much owe you?
I'll bring it in just a second. I just
All right, give the tab to Frank.
Yeah, don't charge anybody for anything.
He's invited back anytime he likes.
all right. He's okay.
I need a deuce. Oh, not a
I
six.
need an extra spoon.
I sure as hell know he can afford it more than I can.
One more.
Just one
Is that
spoon.
how
No,
far?
no. So I can eat her
That one's really
ice
good.
cream.
Oh, weird, yeah. This is almost like a pudding. Yeah, it's not like an ice cream.
This is the
That's
table
why I
to
got
say
ice
it.
cream.
This is the table to say it.
Did you order the fireballs?
So good.
Oh, no, hey. Damn, Bart, don't get on my ass there. Yeah, hey, Brittany. When you come back, can Bart and I have a shot of Fireball each?
I bet I have the lowest hand.
You have Fireball?
Who?
Myself
Sean,
and
how
Bart.
did we not connect there, man?
You know what?
What?
See, that's how much I want to
He likes to drink
drink.
Brazil whiskey.
I want a shot of fire fucking ball, okay?
If you want that cinnamon bullshit,
I do. That's exactly what I want.
I like
Okay?
Frankie.
And right behind it, I'm gonna put out a B straddle. I'm right behind that. I'm gonna put out a B straddle for
That's a whistle pig
symbolism.
for that. I'd like to jump in there and drink some decent.
Let me tell you, Fireball will fuck you up. I don't give a shit if it's cinnamon flavored or not.
I'm not trying to say it.
You say whatever you want.
I'm sarcastic.
Let me see if I got aces real quick. Hold on a minute.
I have to get
No, I ain't got no damn aces.
I just had some caramel licked off a certain body part. I don't know what I
You got it. How many?
All right, so we're back.
Influx of 10s now. Pretty
Alright,
action,
deuce,
pretty
deuce.
action flop for
Frank will
the
get
hands actually are.
a continue from Brian here. Expect, check, c-bet, fold, call. And this is a spot where Frank,
Will always bet.
Yeah, he's been betting all of his airball hands.
He's gonna put all his blue chips and then something else on it too. That was probably that flop.
There's some green
All
on
right,
there.
there goes Frank with an assortment
Good
of colors.
measure.
Looks like $70. Hey, cheers.
Looks like $70. Brian cutting out some chips.
Definitely not folding to the c-bet.
No. Turn.
Still a pretty safe card for both players. Nobody is really going to have a jack in this spot. So I expect Frank to continue betting.
Yeah.
And I don't think Brian will be folding to a 125 size bet anyways.
Mm-hmm.
If an ace king comes on the river, it'll slow the action down. But oof, on this river card, Frank actually might get paid off again.
Yeah, I mean Frank's been
Because I know Frank will not check.
Frank's
this
been
river.
barreling all of his air, so when he has value,
Brian's in a tough spot now.
he's a pure bluff catcher.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he just decides Frank is just a little too
Pays it
screwy in
off.
some spots and just pays it off. And that's the thing, when you give a little more action in a game, in a cash game specifically, in a short span, like you know, you will get a little bit more action when you actually have stuff.
Yeah.
I got my first comment about how oh, guy in a hat. Okay, cool with me.
Your voice sounds like Ike Haxton.
I've always
I'm taking that as a compliment.
I've always that's a compliment.
For sure.
Ike Haxton's a super smart guy, but
Ike's the
I've
wizard.
always wondered about how I would sound on a stream, and I still actually wonder. I'm gonna watch it back later, so yeah. Curious to see what this
Frank
is
with
like.
rockets.
Yeah, rockets. Bart will give him a little bit of action with this, and I don't think. Oh, Bart actually does choose a small blind 3-bet strategy. I love the chat. Frank will certainly be 4-betting, and depending on the sizing he chooses, I think that will decide if Bart will call the 4-bet or not.
Yeah, in the graphic here, Frank has more than the.
Thanks, Polak. I'm glad you're not a fan of me either. It honestly depends on how much he chooses to 4-bet. Say if like just Frank went all in, then obviously Bart would not call.
Well, here it looks like he's 4-betting to a lot.
I actually think Bart's gonna fold to this size 4-bet because of the amount that Frank has behind. Yeah, I mean it's unpeelable with $373 left. Unfortunate. I mean, he's just attacking it. Oh, you need rabbits. What's the board? Oh my god. The guy that just sat in seat 8.
Yeah.
His name's Chris.
Okay.
We used to call him 7. And he's like, he plays very tight ranges. Like, very tight. I had a piece of him once in a 5-10 game when it was a very good game.
Yeah.
He just like didn't play anything with kings. But you never know. He could change it up. I've seen him bluff sometimes. You know, if he wants to win some money, he's gonna have to get in the action a little bit. He's a nice guy. Very nice.
Tens pre-flop.
Very nice guy. Very nice guy. Oh, Josh should remember 7. Chris Duong, actually.
Oh, Frank is
getting in
Frank
it.
is getting it.
It is first on Frank, and
oh
he's
my god.
I don't know how Frank folds right now. He's like, man, that was awesome. Look, he wants the dark raise. Oh no, he tipped.
No, he's tipping.
He tipped.
Pre-tipping.
He tipped. Oh man, Frank's the nuts. Bart speculating on the button.
Yeah, this is it's a pretty unique game we have going on here. Bart flopping top pair.
Nothing really going on here. Just a bet and a couple folds.
Yeah.
Me and Ben always do this thing where like when we see something on the table like that's a little out of line, we give each other that reg look.
Yeah,
where,
the good red glare where you see an interesting showdown.
You see something out of line.
You see
you're
something
like, huh.
that's precarious.
You just stare at each other.
And you want somebody else to acknowledge that.
That's your guy to acknowledge is Ben J. If you ever see something out of line, you know, not in a pretentious or like, you know, kind of like dick way. It's just something funny. Just you just look at your guy and just know what's going on.
Be like, you saw that too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Slick bricks.
Frank flicking in a call here with ace deuce off.
Doesn't seem like anything's really gonna happen on this board.
Just check, see bet, fold a lot of the time.
Hey guys, I'm gonna mix in a little bit of table talk just to see if we can have some really benefits and raise the volume slowly.
All right.
I'll let you do it because I'm not really sure when
For doing which?
table talk. Like mix it in like whenever you think is like, you know, good time to do it.
You stay here. I'm gonna go back and talk.
Go. Stones is right outside of Sacramento in Citrus Heights. Probably, it's like a little north of Stones. North or east, I'm not sure. Huh? Okay.
So some table audio should be coming in. Tech just told me he's turning up the volume there. So
Hey, Pasta with the skinny.
I'm playing this hand for Sean. I just want everybody to know I'm playing this hand for Sean. The man puts it down there on the
I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm like super action or by no means. Yeah. Yeah. I just play poker according to how I think I should be playing, you know. And I'm not saying like, you know, C-Date's a nit either. I'm just saying he plays very tight ranges, and he will be showing up with good cards in the bigger medium-sized pots.
check down there. We might have got there.
You guys at your shot or what?
He's in the middle of a hand.
We do a piece sitting on the Jägermeister. I've never done more than like taste it because it's so gross. I heard it's like heroin though. What's that? Jägermeister? In the treatment.
Oh, Jaeger will put you on your ass.
I'm not.
Almost not over my shot. That would have been
I think it's interesting that Bart checked the turn when Postle checked. I think he must think that Postle might put a little bit of pressure on him if he bets, because this is clearly a better turn card for the caller on the flop. I mean, once Postle checks the river, I think Bart can just absolutely bomb it. Like, he can use a really big sizing, and he goes for half pot.
trying to be catch-all.
I mean, he is capped. He's trying to not get attacked when he like decides to bet the river. Oh man. I wonder if Postle actually thinks this is a bluff. Because I think I played recently with Mike Costa, and he saw a bet check bet line, and he knows that normally that line's a bluff. So when people use it, like it's kind of like a reverse thing where like people would never do it bluffing, especially like a red.
I mean, I'd expect Bart to barrel turn a lot of his diamond combos. 9x for protection.
Yeah, and it seems so ridiculous to just check back the turn and then bet the river, you know, like as a bluff, because it just looks like you don't have it. And he decides to fold. I mean, good fold.
Let's do a shot. What's your name again? Jonathan, my buddy, he bought me a shot of fireworks. Yeah, so there's some low
Perfect. So we're hearing that the audio should be pretty good on the table, and then us too. So seems like what
Mixed strategy.
cool.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
I want one of
Ooh, King 10 suited for
King
Frank.
10 of clubs. Looks like a raise to 60.
He's definitely passes for
65. Veronica folds. Alicia folds.
People have no problem giving Frank action when he has
Brian's
like good
take a
cards.
flop in position.
Oh, you were on that table when Twan. We had 11 people left, and Twan hit a king on the river on me. And
What event?
it was some Thunder event where first was like 100 like whatever 150K.
Yeah.
And we were 11. We had 11 people left, and then I get it all in against somebody, and he rivers A7 versus King 10. He rivers a king on me, and then there's 10 left. They chop like 9 ways.
Well, this was the end of last year, right?
No. This was the end of 2017 or something like
Oh,
a beginning of
2017.
2018. That was the worst. I was so tilted because I was the guy that kept getting 10th every tournament.
Wow, and Frank 2-barreling here. Turning a gutter to Broadway. Brian.
What do you think about his turn barrel with King 10 of clubs?
I think it's interesting. I think Brian's limp call range is going to contain a good amount of suited cards, so I'm not in love with it.
You know what the crazy?
Brian's been really passive. You're trying to fold him off a 4 or a deuce. You don't assign him any ace-x because you think that would raise pre-flop. And here, Frank's probably looking at it as, I'm picking up equity. I should continue to barrel, but that's really more important of what does your villain's range look like. And he shows him the ace and throws it away.
And you know what it is too is
Wow.
There's been 2 times already in the stream where Brian paid off Frank 3 streets and Frank just had it.
Yeah.
And so this is a spot where Brian was just like, man, I just keep paying Frank off, and he just keeps like having it against me. It's that like short-term dynamic you have with like villains and like these these kind of like stream games, or even like just a regular cash game. You have these short-term dynamics that you have with people, and like, it's a real thing.
Definitely. Well, it's also the drawback of, limping into the pot, where, now Frank's able to have a lot of the stronger ace-x combos. And, he's been showing aggression, which allows him to both get paid with his value and also be able to potentially get bluffs through, because he's betting his good hands and his weaker hands.
7. I love Frank. Frank is like everything you would want in a cash game, and I'm not saying that just because Frank is like action or whatever.
No, he's smiling.
He's just such a great guy. Like
He's a good guy to talk with. He's a good guy to splash around with, have a drink with.
He drinks, like he's good for the game, like he's had so many of these life experiences that whenever you bring up a topic, he always has an opinion on it, and not just like some opinion that has like no value, but he's been through things, and so like you can always just have a conversation with the guy.
Yeah, I've talked a lot of golf with Frank.
Just so interesting. Like, I mean, man. Well, I'm happy you chopped when I busted. And I think Brad Kraft, I think I've actually watched you on the stream. I think you played 1-3 a couple times. Yeah.
What is the list like for this game right now? I'm not exactly sure. The stream usually runs between 10:30 and 11. It cuts off, so we have another probably half hour to an hour left on the stream. Something in that region.
You recognize that?
I do not.
Remember your Snapchat filter?
Oh, that's what it is?
I don't know.
No, it's similar.
Just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Frank's BFF has got up an enormous amount.
Yeah, the game does continue after the stream. Often people will leave when the stream picks up, but the game does continue. And often it breaks down to a shorthanded game after the stream ends. But yeah, if you're in the room, just go check with the poker desk and put your name up for it. I know Veronica and I will be leaving, but often Frank and Postle and others will stay later. Frank here.
Frank's got a nice hand today.
Ace king of clubs.
Ace king.
Boops it up to 83.
Veronica's trying to flop a set. I wonder if Brian's going to defend with this. With the $25 straddle, he probably will be defending Queen 3.
Yeah, once there's another caller, those suited hands go up in value.
See what's going on? Ace King Deuce.
King 9-6 rainbow.
Too easy.
This is the spot we were talking about earlier about, you know, kind of bet sizings. And for
Yeah.
Frank, he pretty much has the board locked up. You know, nobody really is going to have two pair type combinations on this texture. And, you know, there are a few straight draws out there, but you're going to be having the best hand. You're going to want to be c-betting a lot, you know, with your good hands and your weaker hands. And when you bet 200 into 250, you know, you really give your opponents a really easy out to just muck, you know, the majority of their holdings. Where the goal is really to have people continue with worse and fold better. And here you're taking down the pot, which is nice, but you know, how are your bluffs really going to be betting that size? And you want to be thinking about the game in terms of ranges and, you know, the value of your range versus the value of your opponent's range, and absolute value of your hand versus the range of your opponents, things like that.
But I think Frank is thinking like, oh, I have it. Like, you know, and people always call when I have it. I'm just going to bet big.
Well, he's been doing that with, you know, air balls too. You know,
Yeah.
he was double barreled to queen 4 earlier. You know, no pair, no draw.
That just seems to be standard. And
Yeah.
to always throw his blue chips in.
From ace king to
Veronica
9-6.
should raise this, and I'm not saying should, but she
Well, she does.
She normally will raise this because she's been 3-betting and opening a lot of these like Broadway type hands.
You're also isolating Frank, where, you know, you're going to make the blinds fold a lot of the time. Players behind are going to have to fold a lot of the time, and you got to play a pot in position versus players playing so many hands. You know, so it's a really good hand to mix into your, you know, your isolating range beyond.
Frank has big lick. I don't think he's folding that hand. No. Not tonight,
No,
at
Nick,
least.
not tonight. All right. Heads up to King Jack 3 flush draw.
Good board for Veronica. We'll be taking this down with a C-bet a lot. You know, this is just one
Frank
of those
has
hands.
nothing. Once she checks back.
That's kind of sick. She's trying to induce a bluff from Frank. That will
The
not
delay
work.
c-bet.
I probably would bet the flop, but if she thinks Frank has all these like nothing hands and she's trying to win extra money from him,
Yeah.
like trying to bluff the turn or whatever.
Well, he's been stabbing turns a good amount too. Usually
Yeah.
when he actually has something, but
Yep.
you know, she assumes she has the best hand on the flop.
Sometimes like checking back, like to win more money off your opponents. No problem.
Checking strong hands is something
Yeah,
that,
next point.
you know, I've been known to do at times, and you know, it allows your opponents to kind of blast off at times.
Flat aces.
I never flat rockets.
Jackson, yeah, that's Bart Hansen you see.
Of Crush Live Poker live at the bike.
Yep.
Fame.
Made his way up to Sacramento. I think I see a $15 straddle on a call.
So it's a $15 straddle from Mike. In the 2-seat. Matt Cleary, is this game uncapped? It is a stack match game. So you can match the big stack and add on to, you know,
Starts at a $1K, a $500 buy-in.
Yeah, initial it's a $500 buy-in, and then it's a stack match game.
Yep. So this game tends to get really deep.
Yeah.
Lots of suited cards getting in there again.
Nice to see Brian come in for a raise here. You know, he's been playing quite passive and limping a good amount. You know, Jack 9 suited's a
Holy.
wow. Frank flopping the world with his hand. Pair and a flush draw. Blacklist and blue balls is the Thirst Lounge 10 over soon. I'm not sure exactly what the timeline is. I know that.
Straddle's only under the gun.
Yeah, Shroud's only under the gun, but the Thirst Lounge is still going on. We have our all-star Train, who's often in the booth here, is down there in the Caribbean.
Oh, Justin?
Yeah,
The fat train.
yeah, Fat Train. But he's doing his thing down there with Bill Perkins. I did see the bet on Drew's Deuce 3 call on, it was like a 4 Broadway board. I believe it was Joe Ingram that threw up a post about that on Instagram a couple days ago.
What was that?
So it was some online MTT where a guy had the skinny on like,
Oh, he called it a 2 on like a 4 Broadway board.
yeah, it was
right?
like Ace King
When
Jack
there's
10 or whatever.
3 ways. And three people left in the tournament heads up pot on the river.
Something like that.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah,
I saw the guy with. I saw the. I think there was a tournament with some guy called with Jack High or Queen High.
Yeah.
Not Ryan Reese, but like another
the
online
Reese
one.
10 high call. Yeah, it was a different one.
Yeah. Oh, Casey got added to the Thirst Lounge.
I know that Casey was like towards the finalists of people that were gonna get chosen, and then when Kat left, they were looking to find someone to fill that 10th spot.
That'll probably be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Veronica opening it up +1 with the 9-7 suited. I saw that Frank straddled all his blues. It looked like about $30.
Yeah, 25 or 30. Veronica's probably coming in here for like 3x or so.
I think 2.5.
I'm not sure what it was. It was too. That's more than
Looks like
25.
32.
Something like that.
Oh, he's got Ace King suited. I think Frank will just raise all in, honestly. Or just like use some really big sizing. I think like.
Oh, he's calling. He's put out call chips.
Is he?
He just added. Once you add chips to the pot, you know, a raise would then be a string. So,
Wow.
being a little deceptive here.
Oh my
Wow.
God! What a flop.
So, Veronica here with, you know, a 0 equity hand against 2 very sticky players would expect a check back here, and then Paul. Oh wow, no, Frank just lead jams.
He shoved. Yeah, I mean.
Ripped.
That's what I thought was gonna happen pre-flop. I thought he was gonna shove.
Yeah, and see, Veronica now gets just a very easy decision. And Paul has to think, you know, what does Frank jam range look like, right? Like,
I think-
unlikely to be Queen X.
I think Pasta would snap call like any better queens because like I think Pasta is tanking because he might lose to a better queen right now. Even though I don't think.
I don't think Frank just opened
Yeah,
rips.
I agree with that. But you know, when you have Queen 5, you're like, man, I might just be dead against like Queen
Well,
Jack.
say Frank has 4x of spades, you know, what does your equity look like versus that, where you're ahead now, but Frank never has a 0 equity hand here. Really.
I think Mike just will call in this spot just because like this just kind of looks like a draw. Like
It's super suspicious.
Yeah.
You know, Veronica could have aces or whatever, pre-flop having opened under the gun, so I wouldn't expect Frank to be ripping, you know, a 1 pair type hand. He always
what
has.
about like Deuce 4?
That's possible.
Even then, you have equity against Deuce 4 or like Queen Deuce or like. But it's just like it just looks like 4x spades or ace x spades.
Yeah, but here for possible when he calls, he's either, you know, kind of flipping, or he's dead. You know, he's in a bad spot.
Oh, you know what's sick? Is that's actually pot. It's gonna be pot of the night if he calls and one of our guys wins.
Correct.
That's pretty sick.
I said I thought Pasta would have the pot of the night.
What an angle! He goes like,
The near forward motion.
and he goes sideways. Oh man.
He's just thinking through. No. Oh, he's gonna let it go.
Oh my god. Keep in mind the pot's like $250 and he's calling 1,400 to win 250.
Yeah, when there's just like massive overbet flop bets.
Just some ridiculous amount like.
This is in general what I would say is not really a thing, But then you get into games like this where things get so out of line and ridiculous. You know, I mean, Frank's flat pre-flop, given, you know, the possible out of position flat is atypical. The jam is atypical.
Oh,
So
they
you really
ran-
have to adjust what you think. You know,
They ran the board out. I'm curious to see who would have won.
Yeah, it looks like Frank tabled his hand too, just to show.
They used to have a line rule at Thunder Valley where, say if it's like $15 to call and you reach across the line with 100, it's whatever you go past the line with, you have to leave it all out there.
Yeah.
So you're not allowed
The
to
line
cut
is
chips or
fine.
anything. It's just like whatever goes past the line stays.
Yep.
And so that's like the worst thing ever for like a limit, because if you cross the line and you want to call but you go with a lot of chips just to cut it out, you must raise. So it's like,
Yeah, they're different rules in every room.
Thunder changed it. Now there's just no line there at all.
Well, and I
which
know
is like-
we've played a little bit of cards in a room it did not have a one chip rule, which is atypical, right?
Yeah.
So every room has its own nuances.
Yeah. So it's always important to ask like what's the nuances in the room in terms of like the betting line, floor rulings, like whatever.
Yeah, if you're announcing a bet, if you're always putting in, you know, some people do like a one chip call or a one chip raise that just adds potential confusion. You know, you generally there's so much chaos going on. You want to limit any point that there could be confusion in the hand.
Doesn't look like anybody flopped any, especially the cards face up. Frank and ace king.
All right, Queen 10-9, Rainbow 7 has an open ender. Nurse John
wonder
has
if
top
Apostle
pair.
has.
Frank has 2 overs and a gutter to Broadway.
It's nuts.
Art has middle pair. You know, and often in bomb pots, you know, people have different, you know,
Approaches.
strategic lines that they'll take, but often, you know, betting on the smaller side or checking the first few positions. You know, so this is a spot where, like,
I think
you know, Nurse Sean has top pair in the small blind, but I'd very often expect him to check.
yeah.
Because when you know, if you lead out here with, you know,
And you
kind
get
of a weak
called,
top
you're
pair,
just
and you get
not
called,
like happy.
yeah, you don't know if people have, you know, pair and open ender or 2 pair, because that initial lead is just so strong where it's difficult to play, you know, turns and rivers.
What's going on? I think it checked through on the flop already, and like everybody's kind of just waiting. Like I think everybody's playing the turn already.
Duck Papa Veronica is not staked for this game. She's on her own dime.
Yep, we took the training wheels off. She's on her own. Playing good. Playing good poker.
Close the door.
Oh, 7. I hope there is no 8 or king out there, and I hope. Oh no, 7 called. He made the straight, which makes me think that
Are they on a turn?
they're on like the river.
I'm not sure with that.
They are. Oh, there you go.
Here we have a plus minus in the Twitch chat. Nurse John up 2.6k, Postle up 2k, Veronica up 890, Bart up 853, Brian down 199, Queen Duck down 801, 7. It has listed as negative 2.3k, but he just
Our
bought
man-
in, so he's
Our man
even-
Justin doing all the work out there. Shout out to Justin,
yes.
making our life way easier over here. I see it. Oh, so there was a turn bet and a call.
They're on the turn right
Call.
now.
No. There was a turn bet of 80 and a call. Like Alicia bet 80 and then there's a call and then Frank overcalled and then I think 7 just bet the river. He might have river straight. He actually could have just been bluffing too. You never know.
That's what's up.
That is kind of what's going on.
Cheers in again.
Yeah, always cheers.
Too much.
Wait, let me do this. Take that bomb
Got him.
button off.
I, Den, appreciate you tuning in.
Is that Din?
Unlikely.
Never know. Yeah, do you hear that Justin used to be in a band?
Yeah, he was telling me
I saw it all over his Facebook, lots of posts, like very interesting posts. Like I read pretty much all of them, and like, you know, I never would have thought.
Yeah, Justin's the tournament director here, facilitates the stream, gets everybody set up. Yeah, last month after the game, Veronica and I grabbed a bite, and he came over and was chatting with us about.
Got quite a
what's going
story.
on. Great story.
And I know he's trying to. I know he was on a sobriety thing this year, trying to give up alcohol or at least take a break from it, and like, you know, I really root for Justin when he's trying to, you know, better himself.
Yep.
Yeah, like I'm just a big fan, and
Definitely.
like, just one of the greatest people.
All right, so what's going?
Veronica's just in the
Game
mix.
is extremely loose, as you can tell.
Veronica does not just let late position open get away with it. Impulse is just like, come on, really? Every time like there's an LP open, like I just like this is a 3-bet.
Chips, please. Table 11. No, don't.
They're gonna make Veronica work for it.
Yes. 495. The stream goes, I believe, until either 10:30 or 11. I'm not 100% sure.
Frank is gonna try to hit the wheel.
And this is just something that is unlikely to be seen in your local casino game, but still.
The wheel?
Oh, Veronica flopping TPTK.
Veronica will be all in on.
No.
She's got like.
No, she
No,
has.
she's $1,500. She will not be all in on the turn.
She has more than is listed on the.
But honestly,
on the
I think
graphic.
Veronica uses very large sizing.
Yeah, she's using large sizing, which I think against players like this is effective.
Yeah, when people are very loose, like big sizes are good, because you will get often more. You will get called more often, especially when you have value.
But here you see like Possel's folding out a gutter, right? So all of that equity that he has, he's not getting to realize, and that's something that as the pre-flop aggressor, you know, is a huge benefit because you're able to run some bluffs, get your value with your value hands, and now here
full.
Frank is just like.
Not really sure what to do.
What are you gonna do? Like, you know, you called a very speculative hand. You know, you flopped a pair, but how are you gonna continue? And you know, what are good turn cards if you do call the flop?
This is a tough spot for Frank.
Looks like he's gonna let it go. This is often a spot where I feel like Frank would. Yeah, you know, he tabled his hand.
No, he has not tabled.
He turned
Oh,
over
he
the
did.
four.
He did.
It might have been the deuce of diamonds that he showed, but he tabled the card. Yeah, and he just pays the rabbit and he mucks.
I want to see the rabbits.
Quick look at chip counts.
He had the tip in.
I got it on the river, he said.
Oh, 7 reloaded.
No, he won the bomb pot.
Oh, he won the bomb pot.
He won the bomb pot. Yeah.
Get in there, 7. Yeah.
The pair.
7's my boy. Like, I give him a lot of crap, but like, I love that guy. I met that guy when I was 18. Like, he's,
Oh, so you've known him forever.
I've
That's
known him
good.
for
yeah.
8 years. I have his number. Like, I keep trying to get him to come play tennis with me because then like he likes tennis, but he's lazy. It's gonna be a big pot. Bart will be checking unless he has like some good stuff.
Yeah, majority of hands Bart's gonna be checking.
Top pair.
Veronica with the best of it.
Decides to play checking. Decides to play check from the small line.
Justin, do you guys intentionally have the table talk on? Yeah, I think we had the tech turn it up at the request of both chats. Turns aces up. Surprised to see it go check, check. Would hope to see a bet here from Veronica.
I actually think she chooses too large of a sizing. I think on a board where she's not going to have too many bluffs, it's going to be hard to get called.
Yeah, and this is the spot where you're looking at Brian's, range as what type of hands does it look like he has, and how much can those hands call.
Acting like he doesn't know my last
Yeah, he's saying, we got a great game tonight. We got a Mike Costoli. And John's like, Costoli? What the fuck?
Yeah, let's see a jackpot on stream one time. Has there ever been a jackpot on stream?
I have no idea. You're the jackpot king, man. You would know.
Yeah, I know jackpot rake is like, bad for, it's just like nobody's ever winning off jackpot rake and it's negative EV and whatever. It's just extra money down the drain, but like I've been lucky enough to have been on a plethora of jackpots.
11? 12 jackpots?
11. I've been on 11 bad beats, so,
Table share, winning hand, losing hand.
Yeah, I've had one losing hand, one losing hand, 2 winning hands, and then 8 table shares. Wow. They weren't all in Sacramento, Spencer. Some of them were somewhere else.
You had one.
I had one in like LA. One.
You had your
in,
Matrix one, but you didn't get a share for
That
it.
didn't count. I didn't count that.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had 2 jackpot eligible hands, but there's
wow, jackpot is eligible on multiple boards, so you can run it 3 times and like get
Oh,
the.
no
so
kidding.
hey, if it's like ace 3 and you get it all in it with like ace jack versus kings, like you
should
actually
always run it
You
3
should actually run it 3 times. That's so sick.
That's interesting.
Wow, I actually didn't know that. Thank you, Justin. I guess I will be running it more than twice if we have outs to the jackpot.
outs to the jackpot.
Yeah,
Good to
like.
know.
That's actually pretty sick. It's actually worth the extra like rake
of
if
course.
if there's actually a 1 outer or even backdoors. I don't backdoors.
If anything.
Yeah, any chance of backdoor jackpot like is actually plus EV.
Yeah, of course.
All right, Justin, we can't run the board 15 times.
I guess we get it on the turn, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I've had 2 jackpot eligible hands in San Jose. There's no bad beat jackpot though in San Jose, which is unfortunate. And then I got a room share once when I was out visiting my parents a few years ago, and went in late one night to the local casino and got a room share actually at like 3 in the morning where there weren't many tables running. But
What is this called?
Uh,
A fit. What's that?
no, it looks
spin
like
do?
the snitch. Well,
No,
I'll
it's
look
the-
at a
it's the
fidget
spinning-
spinner.
A fidget spinner.
Fidget spinner.
I wonder what Alicia's thinking here.
She's been just getting 3-bet
She's
left,
been
right,
getting
and center.
3-bet a lot. She's been playing very, snug and very good ranges, and like when she's been getting 3-bet a lot.
Really happy to be seeing this 3-bet from 7. So, I mean, when people
He got jacks.
like Postle and Frank are, coming in there with 4-deuce offsuit.
Hey, man.
And all these types of hands. No, jacks are just so far ahead of that range that you want to be, putting more money into the middle.
Would you call if you're Alicia right now? Queen Duck?
No, I would not.
I mean, look, you're calling 215, closing the action, getting 4-1.
You're getting.
You have 1,000 behind. So you
I'm
know
not
what I
saying.
mean?
I'm not
You know what I
saying
mean?
that because I see that both of the other 7s are
No,
dead.
but you get to. Oh, I don't. Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not even saying that. You're just in a spot where, you're trying your best to flop a set, but otherwise you have really almost 0 playability.
Yeah, but you get
And also-
5-1 if you flop a set.
Well, yeah, but her and 7, I assume have played together some.
Maybe. Yeah, 7 plays. He's a regular at Stones.
It's kind of the trouble you get into when you start flatting these, strong hands, but you're out of position and you're not closing the action, and you get squeezed out. Back raising isn't a thing.
Yeah, but it's like a peace of mind thing. What if you fold and you just like hit?
Whatever.
It hurts a little bit.
Can I win $5 for a rabbit? Any random dog?
Oh my god. How does he do
The
it?
set.
And he just checks.
Nice.
I should.
Frank
Oh my god, he
snapped
just
that.
goes for it. You should just call here. I mean, if you're gonna slow play, like you have to let the guy keep betting.
I like it.
Yeah. Hopefully, if a diamond comes out 7, we'll just lose all his action. Okay,
he got
7 is gonna double up. Like I don't see anything else happening. I think Frank thinks 7 has kings. Or like,
Cool. Got another like 15 minutes. Perfect. Thank you.
oh, it went check
Turn goes
check.
check.
So Frank is actually a little bit suspicious that 7 has like better than kings, and I think when 7 bets the river, I think Frank is gonna realize that like 7 has a good hand.
He rips.
Oh, and he went all in. That's sick. This is a sick spot for Frank.
Frank folds. Yes. Yeah. We got it. Yeah. Sounds good. So we have the marble race coming up. No idea what it is. You'll see it.
I saw like it's like this little
Just at
thing.
the end of the stream, you know.
Yeah, where it's like a little game, because I always see the net reg trying to suck out.
Of course.
What do you get?
No idea.
Do you get like a shirt or something,
I have,
or
I
a
have
sweater?
I have no idea.
Well, we'll see who sucks out and gets there.
You get clout. That's right.
Oh, Frank called. No.
No.
Oh no, he did call. Yeah,
he did?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, it gets stacked.
It's kind of a hard spot for Frank to want to fold. He gets a free refill. You gotta kill the rest of this with me. Don't leave me with all of it, Ben. You gotta kill the other half of me, dog. Come on, man. I think I drank the whole bottle. That's my boy Ben J.
I got you, bro.
Funny, I went to my first 2 Sharks game ever with Ben. I've never been to like a hockey game in my life. Never like watched hockey. I actually thought there was 2 halves in hockey instead of 3 periods. I had no idea. And we ended up going to.
We went to 2 of the
We went to
playoff
the-
series
yeah,
games against Vegas.
Yeah, we went to like the
went to
Sharks Knights game,
I think we went to game 3
3?
and we sat right behind the penalty box.
and it was a sick game because there were 6 goals scored in the first period. I'm like, oh my god.
Is this what a normal hockey game looks like?
And then we went to
Game 7.
Game 7,
That-
which was insane. We went with all Knights fans, like, cause you know all my like poker friends are from Vegas and came out to watch, and oh my god, it's the most insane thing ever.
Yeah, we were there for the game 7 where Sharks were down 3-0 with like 10.5 minutes left in the third, and then there was the 5-minute major to much controversy, and tied it up and won in overtime. It was pretty insane.
Yeah.
Or got the lead, they tied it up, and then we won in
They
overtime.
tied up in the last minute.
Yeah, definitely hoping to go to some Stanley Cup Finals games should the Sharks beat the Blues. Looks like we have a limp pot here. Frank with a gutter, queen duck, bottom pair and a gutter.
That's the nuts for
Queen duck,
Queen
yeah.
duck.
This is a spot where she's betting so big. You're just forcing everyone to kind of fold their pair type hands.
Yeah. When you want action from their like flush draws or like king X or
Yeah,
ace
you
X.
want to get one street from a pair or a flush draw.
But if you have Jack X, Jack of Diamonds X, all in.
Possibly. Or I think it was a double flush draw
Oh,
board
there
too.
was. Jack of Diamonds, Jack of Clubs.
I actually did that yesterday.
You saw me do that to Ken?
No.
Where I ripped like the blocking the nut flush draw, or blocking the one card straight, the flush draw with the nuts, and he folded the nuts because I went all in for like
A ton.
30x the pot.
I did that against what's his name? I did that against Vivek yesterday.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I wasn't there.
The board, yeah, I think you were.
I was. I
It
think
was on the feeder
I
game.
think I saw
The
something
board was
ridiculous.
King,
and I'm like,
queen, 10, flush draw, turn jack of spades, completing front door flush.
yeah, I did see something ridiculous.
And I had like I had ace queen with the ace of spades. Where I check call flop, check turn when turn was Broadway. King queen 10, turn jack, of spades, river blank, and I checked river, and he bet like half pot, and I check raised from like 300 to like 1600.
That's
fold
right.
him off the chop.
I did see that.
Yeah.
Wow, 7 with another really good hand. I imagine that he will get some action from Pasto, and I think when Pasto calls, I think everybody else will feel the need to call, except I think Bart will actually fold, but
Yeah, Bart will get out of the way here.
you never know. Get in
pretty
there,
confident.
Get in there, Bart. Oh, he's taking.
Is he thinking about it?
Get in there, Bart.
Wow.
The 9-7 off. Oh. This is it.
Also
This is one of those boards. I think knowing how I play with 7 a lot, he
Yeah.
usually bets pot on these kind of flops. He uses a very large sizing because he uses 350. But I think maybe it's because of stack depth, but
Paul's been known to get there in spots like this.
These are Postal kind of boards. I wonder if Postal's gonna choose to raise, but I think it would make it a lot easier on 7 if he just called, because
I think the call is the most standard play for sure. I mean,
I don't know. You have all the sets. 7 is 0 sets.
7 is unlikely to have a set, but
Oh my god.
it's just another call card in general.
Are you sure?
I mean, you never know with these guys.
Yeah, 4 different sets. You could have the nuts. You could have 8-6.
You could have 4-5, yeah.
7's deep.
Check,
Oh my god! How do you do it?
Yet their apostle has earned his nickname.
And you know what's sick is
many
7's
times
gonna
over.
bet. 7's gonna bet like 700 because he just thinks he's good. Paul's gonna raise. Oh my god. Oh, he bets 300. That's
small to induce.
He just saves himself when he bets small, because I think Paul's gonna make it like 1500 and like. Ah, that's the sickest way to get there. It's just so sick.
How big does apostle go?
You can just bet a lot.
That's a lot.
You just bet a lot in this spot. You just like have so many of these hands that just don't have anything, and then you have all these other hands. Like, you just have trips and you have all these other hands that just have nothing.
And then you last time you said only on 3 acres or some shit. You said that one night. Yeah.
More.
They go really big here.
You need a little bit more than that
They go
possible.
really big.
1700.
I don't even hate ripping.
All in is hella sick. I don't hate ripping.
I don't hate ripping either.
And he just tops it off with 1 red.
Yeah, it makes it
And,
like
and 7
1200 more.
and 7 just like never can fold to it. Like, he just never folds here. I don't want to say he can't fold, but he will not fold when he he just calls fast and like Pass is just like That's the thing, playing deep games and 3-bet pots with suited cards, like, you know, when you...
The value of those suited cards goes up the deeper you get.
Of course, like, and you're playing in, you know, against people who have very nitty ranges, I don't want to say nitty, but very, like...
Tightly constructed.
Tightly constructed ranges, like, you know, you kind of just can fold when you get bad boards for yourself. Like, you can put a lot of pressure on them when, you know, there's no ace, king, queen, jack on the board. Not to say that he just didn't get there, but and your hands are also a lot more disguised on like these like boards that you opponents think that are not supposed to hit you as often.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you win, Ben. Apostle got all the money.
He always finds a way.
Got the biggest pot of the night. I thought it would be Frank. We still have a few minutes.
Every
left.
time I've been here has only been for the Veronica and Friends game. If that's playing in it, if that's doing commentary, Apostle always finds a way to build castles of chips.
All I'm saying is, they prefer to come more often and will touch you with discounts. So whoever you want, if you're love the job they do, right?
And then we're being told we have about 5 minutes left on the stream, and then the marble race, and then that'll be it for us. But get another couple hands in, hopefully.
I'd love to hear feedback about what you guys think about like me and Ben's commentary, and if if you think we should ever be back in the booth, and all this other stuff, because I've always wondered, like, maybe I'm not cut out to do commentary, or maybe I'm okay at it, or I just have fun doing it. I think it's it's just something I look forward to doing. So
I definitely think the type of game that we're doing commentary on also.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Allows us to either talk or not talk about the game in a certain way that maybe y'all would like.
Yeah, but all in all, like, I think no matter what how the game is, I think there's always something to be said about it. So
Definitely.
this is actually a pretty cold. This is a cold deck right now. Top pair, and a gutter and a flush draw. So Keats.
Calm down, Ocho.
Yeah. Bart's in a crummy spot. Bet, raise, and a call. Can't really do anything. Oh, the nuts! And you know what the thing is? The thing is, Nurse John actually hasn't been very aggro in general in terms of like. Actually, he's played it. He's been aggro on the button, but
He's been playing pretty solid overall.
yeah, I mean, I think Postel might give him credit for a good hand in the spot, but I mean, Postel has such a great hand in the spot. He has top kicker.
I don't know what's going on with this tank. I would just use check. It's Nurse John. You can check
Nurse
raise
John
turn,
should
check-
also bet. I don't think he should check raise. I think he should just bet.
You lead here?
He check raised the flop.
Oh,
He check raised the flop.
Sorry,
Postel
sorry. I
called.
missed the action. Yeah. You check raise flop.
Definitely should continue betting.
Go for a lot here. I mean, you're hopefully trying to get stacks in.
Yeah, you should size up to where you can like shove all in on the river. I think you should actually bet somewhere near like 2/3, 3/4 pot and then shove the river. Postel makes a very good fold.
A lot of pump fakes.
Yeah,
That's a go.
I think he makes a very good fold. Assuming that Nurse John has been very solid today, probably wasn't going to continue unless he like turned a flush draw, turned an ace, turned a 10, or if like John checks. And this is the thing I was saying about Postel earlier. Plays a lot of hands pre-flop, gets in the mix, but really has a good feel for what he's doing post-flop. He has very good reads on like everybody at the table, and he plays. He just does a very good job based on all the experience he's had. I've been playing with this guy for 10 years, so yeah, fine player.
Maybe I'll feel better. I don't know. Something's got to give here. Hey, Frank. Hollywood says he has a better position. Hollywood.
Bart opening to 100. There must be some.
Yeah, $30 straddle.
It must be very close to the last hand because Bart opened 9-5 offsuit, which I think is a little.
If you're opening 9-5 off, you're opening about 100% of hands.
Hey man, I don't know about that. There's worse hands. What's about 100?
A lot. I don't think Bart would open muck Queen Jack of Hearts or fold pocket tens to an open. Put it that way.
Never know.
Never. No. 3 ways. Postel and Frank seeing a flop to no surprise.
Bart actually connects with everybody connects with the flop.
6-5-4 flush draw.
Bart
Yeah,
probably will
it's
check.
a strong check.
Yeah.
Frank turning.
You know
the
what's
best of it.
You know what's sick is I think actually if Frank bets, Bart will probably call because he has a gutter and a pair of fives, beats some draws, beats some just random stabs. I actually think Frank, if he bets 2 straights, will get paid both straights by Bart. And then Postel can't really do anything when it goes bet call.
Yeah, you get sandwiched in between.
Like if it goes like a deuce on the river, I'd actually think like Frank will bet. Yeah, like this kind of river, Frank will bet and Bart will call.
You think Bart will call?
I think Bart will call.
4-liner?
Yeah. This is a tough spot because like Frank does just a lot of betting with like a lot of pairs
Frank can
and a lot
have
of
3x
stabs.
here. Frank can have 8x
He
here.
could also just have like ace 4.
He can. Just depends how wide you think that
See? Yeah. I
it
mean,
pays off.
he just like Frank just has this very merged range of betting. Like he just bets like all these pairs and bluffs all the way up to his like nutted hands. So it's just really hard when you have these middling hands to like determine what's the best option. And sometimes you have to pay it off, like, you know. Live reads.
You're too solid.
Shit.
All right. So here we go with the marble race. So I believe this is just for Twitch chat. If you do the
Get in there.
if you do exclamation point play,
Get in there, Nitreg.
Kyle, you better get in there.
Don't be drawn dead.
Keats, I want to see some action.
Dip Diaz in there. We got Dip Diaz in the chat.
You want to buy CJ spot and I'll buy Oh, Keats got in there.
Get in there, Nitreg. Or Cameron's or Doctor's
Someone.
move. Rolling hot.
See what's going on with the marble race.
Sheen Sense, I think Casey's here pretty often, either doing commentary or playing, or yeah, if you ever want to come meet her, I'm gonna speak on her behalf. Maybe she's cool
I
with
thought
that.
someone just said she was down doing thirst launch stuff.
Okay, yeah, she's not in the okay, maybe like 3 months you could just come here and she'll be here, just playing.
Yeah, I met Casey last summer.
Get in there, dude.
She came out to Vegas for the World Series, so there's a good chance if you come out this summer, she might be there for like the ladies event or something. Thirst launch not yet confirmed for Casey. All right, so not sure.
Yeah, then Casey
But,
Casey's always here playing.
Yeah, here commentating, playing.
She doesn't bite. I know. I've talked to her before. She's cool.
All right, see what's going on with the marbles.
The Taj Mahal kid. You got some money. So what do you win if you get this again?
You clout.
Oh. Last longer. I'll take you against the field, Keats.
I'll take the knit reg against Kyle, actually.
Oh.
I was going to take Kyle against CJ, but all right. And we're off.
Right now we're sweating Stones live. See if he stays in the mix. Oh, the mob leader.
88.
A mob leader. Can you late reg this thing?
Probably your disadvantage.
There's Stone live. I see him in there. Oh, you can't fall off yet.
Oh,
huh?
Dip Dia was up there. We have a list top right for let's see what place everyone's in.
In the lead.
In the lead.
That's just so deep. Oh, Stone's live in the lead. Stone's live's in the lead. Look at Stone's live.
It's early.
I know. The guy.
Oh damn! All the gravity.
Stone's like the first place never holds in these spots,
No.
right? These.
When people fall off the map or something
Yeah.
too. So.
I see a lot of people falling out. Stone's live holding the lead.
Oh, it looks like they're they're different routes.
The Nitreg fell off. GG Nitreg.
Dip Dia rigged.
Oh, Stone's live. Casually. Dip Dia's still in the mix. We still have Dip Dia in the mix. Oh, sick fade. Dip Dia's still in there. Oh, the suck out. This is such a sweat. Imagine you're just propped.
Oh, for sure. Dip D is in the mix.
Dip Dia in there. Oh, that's the survival one? Like everybody that made it?
I got no idea.
It looks like it because I see like a green. Dip Dia got 5th, I think. X Strangler. This is our final table right here. X Strangler, Colo Boda,
Ghost of M, our wonderful
our buff
mod,
on, Dip Dia, CJM, Indian
PLO punter.
Skrilla.
Winner. Got him.
Congratulations on the final tables, you guys.
Thanks for playing. Thanks for tuning
CJ,
in, everybody.
you're in the money. All right, you guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in.
We
Appreciate
might be
it.
back again.
Maybe, you never know.
Maybe we'll be in the game. I don't know. I like playing more. I like commentating, but it's fun to be with you all.
Ben J.
AD.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Good night, guys. Cheers. Oh, yeah.
I'm done, kid. Oh.
That was cool. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.